Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the League of Extraordinary Inventors. I'm your host, Mike from Faraday Research. It is Friday night, April 26, 2024. Welcome to the show. We got our usual panel on tonight. We got Philip from Montreal, we got Lulu from Texas, and we have none other than Mike Does from Florida. Welcome to the show. How's everybody tonight?
Hey,
Everybody's
Hi.
good.
Good.
Excellent.
hanging in there.
Hanging in there. Everybody had a busy week, productive week.
Yeah, very stressful for me, but positive stress.
Yeah, some stress could be positive, right? If it's going in the right direction, and
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
you got a lot of stuff done. Can you elaborate on some of that stuff, or you have to do that off here?
Well, actually, I had on Wednesday. I had a meeting with the Five Eyes. It's Canada, the defense of Canada, United States, UK, Australia, and New Zealand.
Oh, really?
So
Well, that's big.
I presented all my stuff to them, and by the four of my big projects.
Right.
So they seem interested in two of them, which is the depth perception tool and energy teleportation.
Right. That's cool.
But they kind of neglected my most valuable product, which is the C++ superset. But they don't know. They're not programmers, obviously. But
Right.
so they probably didn't know what I was talking about. But
Who knows? Maybe down the road.
Sorry.
Maybe down the road you might present that to them, and they might pique their interest again.
Yeah, because it's very important because it prevents your devices or your equipment from being reversing, from crashing,
Right.
or having snowball effects to make other pieces of your vehicle crash. And it prevents your devices from being reverse engineered easily. So if your equipment gets captured, then, for example, China, let's suppose China wants to copy your device, then they just have to grab them and copy whatever the software is on it.
Right. Right.
So it saves them all the R&D, and all the R&D and efforts and all that, but
Right.
by just copying, so they save a lot of money. So
Right.
hopefully they'll put importance on that as well. But anyways, they seem interested into the other stuff, and anti-gravity. They said, well, they're interested, but they want me to work on it, to work a little bit more on it before presenting it to them again, which makes sense because it's at its early stage.
Right.
But yeah.
But you know what? The way I look at it, it's a total win situation because number one, you had the meeting with these people, and number two, you showed them that definitely you're making some advancements in these areas, and number three, you basically got your foot in the door. It's just a matter of how big the door is going to open for you.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back, but since it's governmental, it might take time. But in the United States, they might
fast track it a little bit.
Yeah, they might speed things up a little bit more than in Canada. So
and that's usually the case, I think.
Yeah, based on merit and stuff like that, and so I did that on Wednesday, and today I had another pitch. I did the same pitch, but for investors in Vegas.
Right.
So the type of people, they invest minimum $1 million up to $500 million.
Right.
So I
How did that go?
I did not ask for $500 million, but I did ask for a couple of millions. We'll see what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like investors, they like to sometimes see stuff before they invest in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I've been working on my prototypes for so long. So when it comes to that time for an investor, funding or whatever, that I have something to show that, you proof of principle, right? That
Proof of
it
concept.
actually proof of concept, right? That it actually works.
Yeah.
Is my volume okay, everybody? Can
Yeah, a lot
everybody?
better than before.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What,
That
what's a
$19 paid off.
what's a depth perception tool? Is it like an optics kind of device,
That's
or
that thing he was showing the other stream about how the computers can analyze a video of a real life video and give you the distance of each object. Remember?
oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay,
exactly. But
yeah.
it's not emitting. It's not emitting. You're not using lasers or things like that. Not like lidar. So
It's using AI, right?
yeah, it's based on. I'm using AI, but it's not the core algorithm. I wrote the core algorithm, but it's not emitting signals, so
I
you
mean,
cannot be
you think,
detected. You can.
when you think about those systems, writing the code for that or the programming, all you need to do is the AI needs to recognize one object that it knows its actual dimensions of, and from there it can determine pretty much every other object around it, those dimensions.
Yeah.
And
So
its distance from the other object that it knows the dimensions of. And it's
yeah,
all it needs.
exactly.
What I'm saying is all it needs is one variable to tell what all the
Well,
other variables are.
I'm gonna tell you. Actually, it's you need actually two cameras, just like a human. A human, we were able to estimate the distance of objects from us. So it's the same thing, but it's digitalized. Yeah,
Right, like if you see if the image shows like a car or a mailbox or telephone, things like that it knows the actual dimensions of, then it can tell you exactly how big everything else is around it and where they are, where those objects are.
yeah.
Based,
But using two cameras helps also to when you
yeah,
have
but
a
technically you don't even need two cameras. You just need one object in the frame that the computer knows the dimensions of that object. Once you have a known variable for the computer to then know the size of a phone booth, for instance, it already knows the size of a phone booth. It's like public information. A phone booth is this
yeah.
big. A Kia automobile, this model is that big, and so
Yeah,
on.
it's the same thing with the human. If you close one eye, you can still guess the distance of objects, but it's better with two eyes, you know.
Right, less work for the computer.
Yeah, exactly. It's because there's an angle, there's an offset between the eyes, so that's how you can figure the distance.
Yeah, but once AI gets good enough, it can take the one object that it's known in the frame, the known dimensions of that known object.
Yeah,
From there, the AI can determine every other object around it because
yeah,
it knows the
exactly.
size of that one object, like
Yeah,
a Coke bottle or something,
yeah,
or a penny on the floor.
exactly. Yeah.
Those are
Well,
known objects. Known.
they're already using this technology in China to control everybody. Like technology is already here. You know what I mean? Like they're using it in China for voice and face recognition, and their social credit system. All that stuff's being implemented right now in China, and it's complete tyranny.
Yeah, I
It's,
know. Did you know that China they claim that they invented a supersonic submarine? Did you see
oh,
that?
I heard it's something about that. Yeah.
I'll post the link one sec. It's
What
crazy,
what
man.
does supersonic means?
It's faster than the
Faster than
speed
the
of
speed
sound.
of sound?
Underwater, that's hard
Submarine?
to believe.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but
very
they
hard to
claim
believe? Like,
Like,
they
Well,
do
then they
you-
must have UFO technology because that's the only thing I've seen ever been able to do like that. That kind of
yeah,
stuff.
that's pretty high tech stuff. If they actually pulled that off,
Okay,
Yeah,
why
they're
don't they use it in the ether, like in the air? If they've achieved it underwater and water is dense, and still they're able to break the sound, the sound barrier, then what happens if they actually use it, in air, like in the
Well, I mean,
atmosphere?
supersonic, but does this submarine break the sound barrier?
Yeah, but
it,
they just claim it. But why, if they were able to, why would they make the news public and not keep it secret? Makes no sense. It's just intimidation, I think.
well, the other thing
Maybe
too
it's
is
just
it's like,
that's how they fight information wars with other countries. Hey,
No.
we got
yeah,
this. And
you know
it's
what?
fake, but we can lie, and you'll believe it, and
Well,
you'll waste your money on something that we don't even have.
look at the density difference between water and air. It's a
Yeah.
huge percentage. So for something like that, if they were able to actually achieve that, they would be able to do. Hold on a sec here. Sorry.
Both air and water have a lot of hydrogen in them. Just like
Well,
one thing for everywhere.
they would be responsible for the UAPs. If they were able to do that underwater, then can you imagine at the speeds they would be able to achieve underwater? Oh, Gerald's here.
The G
Well,
Man.
look who just dropped in, Mr. G Man.
Well, at least we know he didn't take off.
I
Hey,
think
He's
his
still there.
microphone's off. He's there. His microphone's off. He's probably still hooking up.
That's one thing
Unless
about
they're using the water to cool down the engines for it to perform like that in the air, it would be too hot, so they wouldn't be able to, because water's cold, and you know like the computer chip in there might have to be in a cold temperature, to achieve that. So that would be another thing. Like, why are it could be that they are able to do it underwater, but not in the air, maybe.
Hi,
Mr.
Lulu.
Jer,
Everybody.
hey, Joe.
Mr.
hey,
G.
Joe.
How's it going?
How's everybody doing? It's been a little while.
Yeah. Nice for you to join us.
I apologize for not getting back to you sooner. I had some family stuff that I had to get. So.
Yeah, I figured as much. That's okay.
Yeah, another death in the family. Sorry, guys.
Another one? Holy cow.
Yeah, this time it was the grandmother. Last time it was the grandfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was 82. Wow. I mean, it was expected, and the grandmother's 81.
Wow.
But it's just crazy around here because she was more of my wife's mother than her mom, sort of thing. So
yeah, sorry.
So I apologize.
Sorry for this. No, sorry for the loss. It happens.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it definitely does happen for sure. It's part of life, right?
Yeah.
It's another step. That's all.
Yeah.
But that's why I've been incognito. I haven't disappeared or been shot or yet.
No,
anyway.
I figure it's family stuff.
But Mike was saying you got shadow ban again or on YouTube?
Yeah, what happened to your site on YouTube? It disappeared.
Really? I mean, I can still.
I found your new site, Joe, but
yeah, we found the new
notified from your old site, and that stopped happening like 3 months ago.
Yeah, like it should. Like I have you in my subscribers, right? And it shows up, like in my subscribers. Well, last week when I tried to find your page again, it wasn't listed under my subscribers. It was like it was deleted.
Yeah, they deleted that and my Facebook.
Really, I got so many subscribers, I wouldn't be able to find you. But
and your Facebook too.
Yeah, they okay. So I got hacked a while back. It was last year, and they hacked my Facebook and my YouTube, and then whoever hacked it locked it out. And I haven't been able to access or do anything. I message Facebook, I message YouTube, nothing. So there's only 2 G's in the world that can do that. One of them's God, and we all know what the other G is.
Yeah.
So they obviously don't like me, and I'm pretty sure somebody in the G is using my tech because In my original channel, the Wisdom Walker AVI, I put out a 7-video tutorial on how to build one of my big coils, and it disappeared. It's gone.
Yeah.
But you can still find the first video from that channel, and that channel's from like 2008. So why they took out my Winnipeg Enlightened 1 channel so soon? Who knows, right?
Yeah, I started downloading all my videos off of YouTube now, so I'm making an archive of all my videos. So I bought a separate hard drive, a plug-in hard drive, and I've downloaded half my videos now. They're all saved, all my recent ones, so I still got half of them to do. But I'm making copies of everything. I'm going to put it on Rumble. I'm going to have it on Odyssey. Well, most of my stuff's on Odyssey.
You got two-factor, got two-factor with YouTube as well,
Oh, Lulu, I meant to ask you, did you do that link thing through another private network?
I have not.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Somebody.
Two-factor authentication.
Okay. Somebody did it. Somebody did it because my impressions went up by 20,000.
I told you it works.
Yeah. Somebody did it. Somebody did it. It wasn't me, and it wasn't you. It had to have been somebody else.
Somebody was looking at
it. Cool.
Tried it out, but I'm telling you,
it went up by 20 grand in 1 week.
I still only have 629 subscribers.
Yeah, I just broke 3,000. Just barely broke 3,000.
You guys talking YouTube or something else?
Sorry?
Is that YouTube subscribers?
Yeah, I just broke 3,000 last week.
Oh, yeah.
But how much longer were you on than me? Not much, right?
Not much. Like, I had my channel actually registered in 2008, but I didn't really put anything up. It was just an account so I could browse, right? But I didn't really start making videos seriously until about 2018. So
yeah, I hear you. I'm the same way. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I make videos, but they're not serious.
Yeah, I make videos, but I don't talk at all. I just take a shot for 30 seconds and I do my stuff and that's it.
See, I was doing videos and I did a whole bunch of them. And if you put them together, they're only a couple minutes a piece, right? But they show a story. And I was going to do the accumulation with the scientific community, but then the scientific community moved to Discord and they moved to other places. And I can't get there. My balls are cut off by one of the G's. And I mean that. Like, I can't even get my Rumble email back in order to get my Rumble account started, even though I've already applied to it. I can't get anything. I've tried. So obviously they know I know what I'm doing. And I'm just, I'm in limbo. It is what it is.
Do you know what
when I
two-factor
come out there this
authentication
summer,
is?
Mike?
Joe?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Gerald, do you know how to use two-factor authentication? 2FA.
Yeah, I have that. I have that for this YouTube channel. But
right, so how are they going to hack you then?
Like, I can't get Discord. I can't get Twitter. I can't get Rumble. There's nothing. Like, they won't give me back my emails for verification at all. It doesn't matter what I try.
Are you still using the same devices?
So you're trying to keep your original email. You don't want to go the route of making another email.
No, I've made other emails. I have 3 different email accounts, and they're all not connected to this computer. Like Lulu had just asked, am I using the same device? No, I'm not actually, and that's the weird part. It comes from the same address, though, so maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's very strange, I'll tell you that. Why shouldn't I be able to get on Twitter?
Do you have a VPN for your IP address?
You know what? I did for the longest time, and that didn't make a difference at all. So go figure.
Yeah, VPN sometimes they resell free ones. They resell the traceable information to the authorities and stuff like that. So it's pretty useless.
Well, see, I
That's
think
what I heard too.
People that are watching my videos, they understand that. I'll give you an example. Have you guys been watching the Gravel Flyer?
Yeah.
All the stuff with the Gravel Flyer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what they do with moving parts, I don't have moving parts. That's all I'm going to say. So
It's,
if the G that took those 7 videos down in the beginning knows what it does, they also know, and that's why I'm not expanding. It's just a thought. Maybe I'm wrong, and who knows? I very well could be.
you must have shit in somebody's cornflakes.
Oh yeah, they chewed on it for a little while because they're not happy.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Live life one day at a time. I'm not looking to do anything crazy, but I'll tell you this. When I come visit people, I'm giving them plans for my tech. They're getting how to make it video. Like I've got already.
You know what? Still make videos. Still make videos, but keep them on a hard drive. And you know what I mean? Like keep a active log of what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I've got 3 separate computers. One of them never touches the internet, and I have multiple hard drives that are put away and backed up.
keep a complete video log of blog of what you're doing, and then when the time comes, you can go under a different alias and release the stuff at will, right?
That's true. Very true.
Did you upload a video lately? Because I'm not getting notified on any of your videos.
No, I haven't uploaded in a month. I've been kind of just keeping to myself, working on my projects, finishing things that are crazy. I can't wait to show you guys. But maybe we'll do a Zoom call this week offline, and I'll show you what I'm working on, and then
that'd be good.
Why. Yeah, because some things I can't show. I just can't. They'll take it off your channel and they'll kick me in the nuts.
Yeah, but even Zoom is centralized and records stuff. So maybe you want to use Jitsi instead. It's peer-to-peer.
You know what? I don't care if the people behind the scenes see it because they're watching me no matter what, if that's the case. But putting it out to the public when you're showing certain people, that's when they really, step on your balls, so to speak. So I don't want to get anybody else in crap or whatever. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Because you sound like the scapegoat of the deep state. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's because the gravel flyer. I'll tell you this: the old man builds. He knows what he's talking about. He's on to something.
I felt like he
hasn't hit it yet. He's just about there. And as soon as he gets it, he'll have it forever. Because it's not simple, but it's a principle that can be applied in about 4 or 5 different systems that will make it levitate. Or at least hop, like at least 6 feet. Tell you what.
Or just, even to the matter of canceling out mass by 80-90%.
Mass
doesn't matter. Benikoff, right?
Mass doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter if it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 500 pounds.
Well, I'm just saying it's canceling the effects of what we call mass.
Yeah. See, what I believe it is you have to find the resonance of that mass that you're using with your frequencies. So you have to have the frequency of that mass, and then you have to use it in a resonance form with high voltage and a couple other principles I'm not going to get into. And I believe that you could make anything float.
Well, not even that. See, you got to think about it the other way too. It can be used as a weapon, because if you find, say, the resonant frequency of, say, this table that I'm using right now, if I find the resonant frequency of it, guess what happens to it? It vaporizes. It falls apart.
Yeah, but if you can find the resonant,
or it does what the glass does, it breaks.
Yeah.
Well, breaks down. It breaks down. Basically, it starts. The mass actually starts separating. It doesn't hold together. This is like this mouse here is a standing waveform of mass. If it loses that resonant frequency that holds it together, it falls apart. It doesn't keep its shape anymore.
Yeah, but if you can hold it in a magnetic resonance, you're not pulling it apart in that sense. You're actually forming.
I think what happened with the table, because it's made out of wood. You find the resonant frequency of the table will change shape a little bit to lose connection with that resonant signal. So the table's leg, for instance, will burst, but everything else will be fine.
Well, that's what
Because
happened
once it
with
changes its dimensions, it's no longer in resonance with the signal that became resonant to it.
right.
So once it
So
explodes its leg, it's now no longer connecting to that signal that caused it to explode.
see, look at the
So there's all
Hutchison
kinds of
effect.
results that can happen. I don't think it would vaporize though. That's a whole
Well,
unit.
yeah, see, the Hutchison effect does exactly what I said. You know, he was having, you know, like
Yeah, but the
knives
whole bowling
form
ball didn't
themselves.
vaporize. Just the part of the bowling ball turned to like mush, you know.
Hutchinson.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
he hit the right resonant frequency where he was having parts fuse into themselves. So, like, he had a knife
Right.
that fell into a plate of metal. Okay,
Yeah. So
because
that was so
the
weird.
right. That's why when he hit the right frequency, the mass of the
You
steel,
can't find those videos no more on YouTube, huh?
they're
No,
around. They're still out there. They're still out there. I've seen a few of them. But
gotta-
what my point is, when Hutchison manipulated it in another way, he was able to lift a 45-pound cannonball off the floor because he found the right resonant frequency of that bowling ball cannonball that
Right.
it levitated in the
I've
air.
seen the same
So it has
cannonball,
two
like part of it
effects.
liquefying.
Okay,
So
now
do
did
you
you
think he
guys?
created that void you were talking about, and that bowling ball just disappeared in there?
You know
It
what?
did.
That's kind of actually something I was going to add to. Have you guys watched Kedem Physics? He creates this device that lifts rock, and it lifts cucumbers, and it lifts a bunch of other stuff. I believe what he found was the CSE effect, so the cavernous structure effect, and he's able to float things in resonance above it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what, when Lulu said that, made me think about it. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have seen that guy.
It's probably a similar tech what they used to make the pyramids. You know,
Well,
they had.
he
That's what I
uses
was thinking.
a coil of.
Well, let's not forget. Sound can levitate anything. It doesn't have to
That,
be magnetic.
that's right.
Well, sounds
But
part of it. He
the
uses
walls, are,
A sound can levitate a piece of plastic or a piece of iron. It doesn't
and
matter.
it's in the Bible. You know, the walls of Jericho, perfect example. Hit the right resonant frequency, the walls of Jericho crumbled. Right.
Yep. He made them ring.
What if
That's
we
what
have
he did.
what if they're hitting the frequency of the magnetic field, and it goes into the void,
Yeah.
but it appears somewhere else because the magnetic field is something like extremely fast, and it carries those particles because it broke it down, but into a different area, and then it deposits them.
Well, if you're talking invisibility, it's more like this. It creates, so say you have a system, an open core electromagnetic system, and it creates a spherical bubble that surrounds your
You mean
bedroom.
coreless, right?
Sorry?
You mean to say coreless?
Yes, there you go. Coalesces around the room, and it completely engulfs you.
No core, no
frequency
iron in
of
the
the
middle of the core.
people- The frequency of the people in the machine that's inside the bubble will be different than those that are outside the bubble, and the ones that are outside it will not see
Yeah.
you, won't even be there. But you are living life normal at the frequency that you don't even notice it's changed. That's how invisibility kind of works.
Could you see the ones outside?
No,
No.
no, it's like they're not even there because
Okay,
you're at a
so they
totally
can't
different level.
see you. You can't see them.
Nope, that's exactly right.
Mm. Interesting.
Different phase.
So
Different
Yeah,
phase of
totally
energy.
different.
all
Phase
you can
angle.
do, all you can do is use a flamethrower.
Vector.
See there's somebody.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Energy vectors.
Now you can walk out of that bubble and walk into their frequency and talk to them, and walk back in as long as you were in that bubble when the
Well,
machine
can we
turned
tie
on.
this little topic and this subject here of invisibility into Pythagoras and the angles of the Pythagorean theorems, like 90 degrees and 45 degrees? And
Yeah,
those
you're
are the
talking-
phase angles of light. So if you understand why light is visible, probably at those angles, I think that's correct. I'm not if I'm not mistaken, those are the angles to see light, even to have light.
Everybody, we're live tonight, so we have the live chat open.
46 degrees is not
Anybody who
light.
has a question for our panel, please type it in the live chat. It is open, and you can ask
And
questions.
Pythagorean was the guy about he's the guy who created the light math, right? For the triangle. But he was also the guy for light, right? For
the light spectrum.
LIGHT.
I
No,
believe
am I right?
Pythagorean
He
got
was
that
able to
information
split
from
a wave into like the spectrum that we, the visible spectrum that we see, and the ones we don't see, they're there, but
All the colors, and they have
Yeah.
their own angles as well, their own vectors,
their own frequency. Each light has
which
its own.
correlates to a frequency, right? Those angles correlate to a frequency, right? It's yeah, it makes sense because when you have certain oscillations per second, you're going to be able to hold a certain degree of angle, or voltage, because voltage is the angle. It's the angular potential. The more angle, like if you have a vertical angle, your voltage is zero. It should be zero, as well as when it's horizontal. Your voltage should be zero. But everything in between there is differential. It's not balanced. There's no balance, and it has to find balance. Everything between vertical and horizontal has to find either a horizontal or vertical to become balanced.
Balance is the key to invisibility, and
This is the
to
same thing.
change
It's
your
the same thing to
frequency.
do with light. Light angles, sound angles, a frequency
Well,
angles.
how do you move light? Can you move light with sound?
The light seems to.
Or
Is
is
it
it
moving now? Is it moving?
Or
We
is
keep
it
saying it's moving. Where's the evidence that it's moving?
well, that's a good point, but you wouldn't know
I
that.
gotta make it every time. Every time I hear
You know
someone
what?
say
You're
it's
not
moving,
wrong. You're not wrong. It's a good point, but at the same
because that's
time,
all anybody ever says about light. It's moving at
think
the
about
speed
this:
of. How do you know that?
electricity, when it's moving through a wire, moves almost as fast as the speed of light, right? But if you can make a room temperature superconductor, I would say that it's going faster than the speed of light, because a room temperature.
What if it's just a vibration? Then there's no movement at all. It's just a vibration. Why?
No,
Vibrations don't move. They saturate outward from the source.
No,
But that's not a movement.
You can't
That's not
have
a,
vibration
that's not an
without
outward
spin.
movement. That's an up and down movement.
You can't have vibration without spin. I completely believe that. It doesn't matter if it's a slight spin, but you have to have spin. It's the only way you can create movement.
Uh-huh. Right,
Vibration
and at certain
going up and
vibrations,
down?
you're going to get a lot more spin than you would at other vibrations.
I don't know.
Don't they say
Because they're
light is
different
frozen
angles.
matter?
Different angles. The more the angle, the potential, the force, the pressure of more pressure. The right angle has the maximum. I think in between the 90, like in the middle, is the maximum. In the what's that? 45.
45-degree angle. What was that question you said, Lulu?
I said, don't they say light is frozen matter?
Well, yeah, that
Yeah.
could be
I mean,
interpreted as such. Definitely.
technically speaking, 45 is is being pushed and pulled from both ends of the.
Yeah, 45. The 45-degree angle is like the angle of declination that light travels, so to speak.
It's the least. It's yeah, right. It's
And if
being
you look at
pushed
Pythagorean
and
and
pulled.
but if you look at Pythagorean and how he interpreted the way that shapes and light moved, and you incorporate
down.
spin, you are going to come up with something that creates anomalies. And those anomalies, of course, lead into the things that we've been talking about. Like
Right,
how
look, it's 90 degrees is the peak of the sine wave. That's the peak, your highest potential. Is at the 90-degree point. It's at the tip.
it's actually a lot simpler than most people think. But it's been made complicated by academia so that the average guy doesn't figure it out. Because if you do figure it out, you'll figure out that energy is abundant everywhere. All you have to do is give it a path and then collect it as long as it's flowing down that path.
Yeah, you got to create the arch form. You got to create the arch form for the dielectric to manifest the dielectricity and the magnetism in that space, and the byproduct is what we know as electricity. It's a byproduct. It's a
Exactly.
reactive.
It's like electroculture, right? So you set up these electroculture antennas, you're having that raw voltage literally flow down into the ground, and by doing so, it's creating a potential difference between your plant and the ground, and that's why your plants grow better.
That's
But
right.
I say, if you had the right system, collected it from that antenna and captured the flow between the top of the antenna and the ground, you would be able to tap that for free energy forever.
Well, that's Tesla's free energy collector, which is totally doable. All you need is a sheet of aluminum that's highly polished, and then you sandwich it in between two pieces of acrylic about 1 inch thick and seal it. And then you have an inductor wire, high voltage wire coming off that, send that into a very large high voltage capacitor straight to ground. And then you tap off the capacitor into either a step down transformer or an oscillator or
And again,
whatever you
let me
want.
just remind you guys, aluminum is very dense with hydrogen.
Well, what you just described is okay. So the collector with the aluminum and the acrylic, that's correct. You're absolutely right. But instead of describing all the parts and how they put together, take a Tesla coil circuit and invert it.
Invert it upside down.
Tesla was a genius. He wanted to give free energy to man, but he knew that if he put it out, they would destroy it. So he put it out as a circuit to make sparks. But if you
cryptically, yes, flip it upside down. So basically, so you change the high voltage, output it into what a spark machine is. That's what we know of it. But what you do when you flip it upside down, it becomes a step down transformer.
Exactly.
And that's what you want.
And you use the spark gap in order to control your frequency.
That's right. Exactly.
Yep.
And the second you do, and all you got to do after that, as soon as you collect it into a huge capacitor bank, then you could put it through a computer-controlled oscillator, put it at 60 hertz, and then you can run your house.
Absolutely. Or you could run it into a battery bank and then run your house from that.
There you go. Either or.
Yeah. And all it is a simple antenna. And then from that antenna, it goes, like you said, it's just the reverse Tesla coil.
Right. And you're just creating, all you're doing is just taking what is in the atmosphere, creating that voltage difference from the elevation of the antenna to ground. The second that is made, and that's how those pyramids worked, on the same principle. No different at all. Just a different mechanism.
Were 45 degrees, no?
Doesn't matter. That's irrelevant.
I don't think so. I think the angle of that to the ground is key.
No, it was the actual pyramid itself was made of limestone. Limestone is an amazing dielectric, probably the best, other than glass.
It was corroded or coated in ceramic.
Yeah, but if you had a very poor conductor or whatever, you could do it with the right angles and still have, because energy likes to take the path of least resistance, and when it finds that angle compared to gravity in your locale, you create that angle to compare to gravity. Energy is going to appreciate that angle that you created, even if it's a poor conductor.
I think what's more
45-degree angle. Go ahead, Mike.
I think what's even more important is the potential difference from the sky to the ground. That's where the transfer of energy is made.
And you're both talking about the same thing, but just a different aspect of it. Yeah. So you're right, Mike. It's the difference between.
I bet you look at the angles of a lightning bolt. They're all like doing that, 45 zigzag.
Well, you'd capture it properly at a 45. You'd use the zigzag and form a coil that forms a 45-degree angle circumference that comes into a point. So you have a
lightning bolt is not a 90. You draw a lightning bolt. It's not drawn with a 90-degree angle. It's drawn with 45-degree.
But a lightning bolt's irrelevant to what we're talking. I know what you're saying, but it's not the lightning bolt that matters. It's how the energy flows from the lightning bolt to the ground.
Right. It's a potential difference from the sky to the ground. That's where the magic happens.
So where-
the
Potentially
lightning was
different.
not provided. The lightning was
So
not
where are
provided
you
that angle, but it created that angle anyway.
So where are you tapping in for the energy when, like, okay, that bolt comes in and then you capture it with the antenna, and then it
Right.
goes to the. But where are you then extracting it
You
from?
send it right to the
In
ground.
between,
What you're doing,
in
you're
between
merging
the
it.
air and the ground, you put your collector
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
understand that,
put a
but I'm asking. Okay, so
capacitor.
the wire goes into the ground, but where are you
Right.
tapping? Is it before it goes into the ground, or are you doing like a split?
The
Before
ground wire goes to the negative of the capacitor.
Yeah, the positive and the negative, like as that wire goes to your capacitor and then to ground, you tap it off the wire and the capacitor, and that's your positive and negative, and that's
So
how you pull
before
your
the
voltage.
before the
Yeah.
capacitor.
Yeah, before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you can make a coil that creates spin, and you
Right,
run
right,
it
the spark
from
gap, right,
antenna
there you
down
go.
and then through that coil and then into ground, your power doubles, if not triples.
Yeah, like
Because of
Tesla's
the aspects of the
like
coil.
Tesla's results back in those days, they were a lot different because he didn't have the modern switching equipment that we have today. So
Yep.
we have the advantage of having high switching, better capacitors, higher capacitance capacitors. You know, everything he did was at a very large scale. A lot of people don't realize his stuff was huge. You know, it was not stuff that you could fit in your living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
like,
You need a warehouse.
yeah, a giant warehouse, or it had to have been built outside.
He had the biggest pockets behind him of the day. Actually,
Exactly.
for a while
So,
there.
you know,
Till he found out he wanted to give it to the public for free.
he was sticking
Okay,
light
say-
bulbs about a half mile down. He was sticking light bulbs in Colorado Springs when he was doing those experiments. He was putting out so much a high voltage potential coming out of his circuit that he was able to literally stick a light bulb in the ground a half mile away and it lit up.
Yeah, because he put a 1,500-pound coil underground
Yeah,
and he
Yeah.
resonated it with his tower system.
yeah.
Like I said, he's a genius. Hey, Bertie.
Like the cow. Hey,
Bernie.
like the cows.
Well,
Apparently the cows were freaking out in that area because all the hoofs were, they had metal horseshoes on. Right? They had,
electrify, folks. That makes sense.
yeah, the cows were
kind
It
freaking
can
out.
be.
Direct energy or the alternating current energy?
It was
What kind?
alternating.
It's
It was
analog. Analog is nature. Analog is alternating current. It is nature. All of nature's energy is alternating current. It's analog.
Well,
It's just
he oscillated the top of the tower
Don't
with
you
his
mean
ground,
DC?
and he
Isn't
pulled the
direct
energy at
current-
ground level, like on the surface. What's that?
Isn't direct current natural? Like AC is man-made and alternating. Why do you say it's
direct
AC?
current
isn't-
is kind of natural
direct
too. I
current's
mean,
natural. AC is man-made.
Yeah,
You can
I
make
believe
fake
exactly.
AC with
DC is natural.
Well,
and it's
where do you
any-
find
static.
DC naturally though?
well, anything that comes from the sky is alternating because you're working on electrostatic potential. It's not a straight
Really?
waveform. It's all over the place. Yeah, it's electrostatic.
So
So,
lightning bolts are AC. Is
well,
that correct?
by nature, yes, because there's
Yeah.
nothing there to regulate that waveform, right? It can be
Yeah, but
very
when they hit-
intense.
when they hit ground, they become DC. Do they not?
Yeah, well,
Who
yeah,
Who
you have
knows?
That's
So it-
fascinating. The sky
it's
is
because
AC
I mean,
of-
it
and the
depends what
ground
it hits.
is
If it
DC.
hits a boulder that's of the right materials, it can act like a diode for that bolt.
Yeah. Well, the ground,
But then again, where do you find
for that type
DC
of excess
in
energy.
nature? I mean, it's there, but like what, a lake maybe, a static body of water, or I mean,
Well,
I've never looked for it.
well,
but
anything electrostatic is not a DC waveform. It's all over the place.
what about a rock? A rock is putting out DC, isn't it?
What do you mean a
Oh,
rock?
very
Like a
little.
rock, like a regular rock, a mountain
Yeah,
rock, or
like
whatever.
very, very, very little.
But still, there's DC there.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just because it's grounded, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
the rock has semiconductor materials, and it's coincidentally, some of them are lined up just right to create the diode
Yeah, like-
effect.
Yeah, like
You know?
anything that's in the ground is going to be more like a battery, right? Anything in the sky, because it's always 9 times out of 10 it's electrostatic in nature, it's going to be all over the place. It won't be a straight waveform. It's going to be all
And possibly iron, iron that's been polarized by volcanic heat could act like a diode for,
Yeah,
all polarized.
I just posted a link of some doctor. She's very smart, Angela Collier, her name. She's saying that the electric fields and the magnetic fields are the same thing somehow. So I didn't follow.
What I
Yeah,
think, what I think, electric fields are generated through resistance to a voltage.
electricity.
So
Well, it's you know what voltage and magnetism, like it's two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other, and
Yep.
you could create charge separation, but that's a different story. So I'm going to check out that video. Thanks, Phil.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically speaking, if you have no resistance to your voltage, there's no electricity. There's just no resistance, so there's no.
Or you have a superconductor.
Yeah.
I like
Or there's no magnetic field,
superconductors.
or
We need more of them.
Well, I don't know. When I run my system, I could run it at 2000 hertz, and I'm not picking up a magnetic field from that I'm aware of. But at the same time, I can run like LEDs. I can run the neon. It's getting hot, and I'm getting voltage on my pick coil, and it's at 0 watts.
It's like the Gerard Morin device. His what do you call washing machine pump motor? Okay,
Yep.
I can spin that up, Gerald.
It's like
We
we gotta
check this
set
out.
one of those up. Whatever happened to
Anyways,
Morin? We need him.
I just an example of his experiment. I have it actually in my closet right now, my device. I could actually spin that thing on. It's pumping out 120 volts plus. Okay. I can wet my fingertips and I can touch both those terminals while it's spinning. I don't get shocked. You see?
Really?
There's
It's
yeah.
like cold electricity, right?
It's a different
What?
type of electricity. It's a resonant electricity. Resonant electricity is
Resonates.
unharmful. It's also cold electricity. Where hot electricity, if I did that same thing, I wouldn't be talking right now.
Right.
So-
it'd be
Yeah,
dry.
because your hot electricity carries all the current.
So I can put my
What
fingers on those
skeletons
leads.
does Mike have in his closet? A Gerard Morin device.
Many devices.
I have
Don
one.
Smith.
It's not like yours, Mike. I actually kind of want to copy
It's
some of
only
the stuff.
a matter of time before all of those devices turn your closet into like the cupboard of Narnia or whatever it is, right?
Like,
There's gonna
yeah,
be a
another-
portal in there.
See, another example. Okay, soon as you take, say, the power coming off that washing machine pump motor, okay, I could spin it up, I could put my fingers on the terminal while it's running. It doesn't hurt me. But the second I dump it into a microwave transformer, if I were to touch the other side of that transformer, guess what? I get the shock of my life or take my life.
Because
Yeah,
you
'cause
oscillated the current much faster, like the rotation, of that electricity that's going in it. So it's going to eject itself at a much faster, rate, where that's why it's hurting you.
Well,
Yeah.
it's changing it into a hot electricity.
Yeah, you've
Right.
created a strong magnetic field because it's going through that microwave transformer with all the iron in
That's right. Yep. It changes it. And when you get that heat with it, you got current and you got the voltage to go with it, which makes it deadly. So don't do that. Leave it to the pros.
Yeah, one hand in your pocket.
Yep. Hope for the best. No, I got shocked again last week by accident. Stupid me. It's my own fault. I forget to
With hot
discharge.
electricity.
Well, it was a capacitor discharge right in my finger, and actually gave me a little bit of a burn. It was 200 volts right into my index finger and my thumb, so that didn't feel that great. But I'm okay.
I know how you feel. I redid one of the experiments that I was telling Jeremiah about, where I take my big coil and I oscillate the primary. I ground one wire on my secondary and the other wire I leave to the open air, and everything you touch gives you a spark. It's freaking cool. My cat
Yeah.
walks into the room and his hair starts to go up. I was like, "Okay, I gotta shut that down."
That's
I forgot to tell you
some
guys.
Tesla style thing too.
I got a plasma
doing
tube
that?
coming. I managed to find a plasma tube. It was supposed to get delivered today by
Nice.
Amazon, but something got screwed up with their delivery. So I'm going to be redoing Don Smith's plasma tube generator very soon.
Nice.
What's in the
Yeah.
tube? What kind of gas is in the tube?
It's like, well, no, the plasma balls, with all
Yeah.
the spark.
Yes,
Okay, this one's in a tube form, not a ball.
Okay. Yeah, the one that you put your hand, like all the
Yeah.
little. Oh yeah, I have
Yeah.
one of those. I actually have one.
I got one that looks like a lava lamp.
I have a lava
Yeah,
lamp.
yeah, the tube one. That's what I'm getting. That's what I had on
Like
order. So,
Mr. Heineken in the back here,
yeah.
right?
You drinking Heineken? It's a good beer.
German.
It's too bitter for me.
There you go, Mr. Heineken.
My
Who actually does that?
Heineken is rather plasmatized. It's
Bernie?
electrified in plasma. No.
Is that a
What?
plasma globe? Kind of like you can touch that,
Yeah,
or
and
you
there's a
don't touch
Heineken
that?
bottle in the middle. Yeah,
That's
look,
cool.
I'm touching it now, and there's a Heineken bottle in the middle.
Nice. I want one.
Yeah. Right. Shout out Poland. My friend Jakob gave it to me. Yeah.
Guys, I'm just going to step out for a quick smoke. I'll be right back, guys. Just carry on.
Okay, Mr. Mike. Well, before I joined, Gerald, you were talking about the key aspects of Old Man Builds and how close he is to like making that one crucial discovery sort of thing. Oh, get a little demo.
No demo, just a little show. That's all.
Oh,
Something I'm
like a
doing
little
with a coil.
show. That was just a little peep show. Oh
Still
dear.
peep show.
Not
I'm working on a
just
few
a peep
things.
show,
I've got
no
a
real
couple.
show.
What's that? You want me to show that with? Let's see if I can do that here.
There we
It's
go.
huge.
That's a nice toroid.
As you can see, my hand is not small, right?
No,
So
by no means. That's a big toroid right there.
yeah, I'm gonna have fun with that one.
What if you started it and you put it in
I like the looks
the middle?
of
What do
that.
you think happens?
Say that
in the
again,
center.
Lulu.
I said, like, if you like hook it up and have it running, what do you
Yeah.
think if you put an item in the center? What would what would happen to that item?
I'm not sure actually, but I know where you're going with that, and I've been working on a system where you can capture the dust particles flowing through the air as the system's on, and when it's running on with high voltage, it almost looks like it's foggy, like as if when heat comes off of a rock on a very hot day, like you're right close to the rock and you can see the waves come up in the heat in the background. Well, it kind of looks like that. It's really strange. But it doesn't pick up on camera. I had 3 different angles and it doesn't show it. It's like something you can only see with your eye.
I think whenever you do it, you should get a stopwatch and start it and put it in there and compare the time that you have, like let's say on another device and the stopwatch that's in the center. See if there's going to be a fluctuation in the time difference. Even if it's one second. You created a different alternate time field.
I've done an experiment. I've got it on video and it's documented. I have to do it with a couple of witnesses though. But I turn my system on and I've got a clock on the inside part close to the coil. And then I've got a clock, the identical clock, sitting outside of the bubble where the AM radio doesn't pick it up. And it comes off when the experiment's done at 60 seconds difference.
I see. I've been playing with time too. I have a stopwatch, and I've been comparing it to my iPhone timer. There's in 24 hours, there's a 15 minutes difference.
That's different.
Interesting, right? Like, and this is a stopwatch that is run by a battery. It's a little Casio stopwatch, and the iPhone. And so there is a difference in the ticker of what, whatever we're getting transmitted from the carrier of our devices to the real time.
Huh.
The little
That's a
stopwatch is
different
not
thing than what
reading.
I'm talking about, but that's very interesting, actually.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
but I've wrote it on little index cards. I've had my kids like witness it with me. Like, hey, okay, we're starting this and this together. We're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna see the difference. 15 minutes. That's I don't know. I think that's huge. You know.
You know what?
Shout
You'd
out
have to
to
redo
Michigan.
the experiment. Yeah, you'd
know,
have to do the
but
experiment with a couple
I
of different stopwatches, but that's kind of interesting.
I need like a camera that to run it like live feed 24 hours where it doesn't get interrupted to do but I'm planning on doing this soon just to show the different fluctuation of time that's registered that we're being given that whatever that time is versus the actual time that is in the natural flow, not being tampered with via your TV receiver or the signal that's coming into your phone or anything, because that's an isolated device. It doesn't have a like the chip that communicates like through Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I was thinking of using a toroid at some point with some ferrofluid inside, so that I was hoping to make
I
the
love that
ferrofluid
idea.
spin.
What about a toroid with a
Yeah,
cone in the middle of it?
Mercury too.
Yeah, I was thinking of making the ferrofluid spin, but I used a simulator and it said it would just spin on its own, not spin like in a circle. So I'm not sure what would happen. Or do you think like the ferrofluid would spin, Gerald?
It depends on how strong your field is. You'd
Yeah,
have to have quite the strong field, and you may have to have not just a magnetic field in there, but an electrostatic. I don't know. I've been playing with conductive ink. I'm not getting too many results.
Oh,
that
I think
like.
the fluid would, instead of going around the MHD, the fluid would go like this.
yeah. That's what the simulator was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It would
Huh.
spin on its own or something like that. The particle.
Oh no, I mean it's
Yeah. The particle would spin on their own, something like that. But I'm not sure.
no. Instead of the fluid going this way around the cylinder,
Yeah,
the
that's what
fluid
I
would go
wanted.
this way around the cylinder.
Yeah.
Stan
I'm
Meyer
not sure.
built a system to kind of
That's what a
negate that
toroid
problem.
would most likely produce.
Yeah, like Stan Meyer had 3 copper tubes. It was all wrapped in a toroid,
I
and then
love
he had
Stan.
copper coils wrapped around that. He called it the EPG, and he
Yeah,
was
that
able
was
to pump
ceased.
gas through it.
That was ceased. That was
Yeah, it was seized.
Should
I
be
have the plans
honest.
for that.
That's
All the
kind of
details. I
my
have the plans.
inspiration of lots of my experiments.
Stan Meyer rocks. He was one of the best. But again, he's also an
R.I.P. Stanley
example,
Meyer.
right?
Well, supposedly his twin brother is still alive, and hopefully he is
He lives in
able.
Canada.
Really? Well,
Yes.
4 Canadians, right? Panel of Canadians, right? What Mikey does, where he's
And
from.
you know what? I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
Let's
he's
get
in
him on.
Alberta. He's in Alberta.
Really?
He's been
Well,
hiding.
then, I guess
Yeah.
it's up to me to track this individual down and hopefully
Well, you know why he's
learn
hiding.
and
They
keep
killed
him
his
on.
brother. I mean,
Hunting
Well,
down.
yeah. As soon as his brother was killed, he got the hell out of there. He's been living somewhere in Western Canada for I don't know how many years now, over almost 25 years.
see, that's what
another.
it comes down to. If you try and sell it, they're just gonna whack you.
Well, no, everybody knows Jim Murray, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he lives in Sault Ste. Marie now. He left the U.S.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had some bad things happen apparently a couple of years ago around the COVID time, and yeah, he's been living in Sault Ste. Marie now.
See, the States makes me nervous. That's why I didn't like completely interact with certain individuals that live in the States. I want to give them my system to do confirmation testing, But the problem is the states has this really messed up law that if they see anything that they like,
Yeah,
patent
deemed,
office or otherwise, they just walk in and take it.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
There's a lot of discretion in the justice system. The law, they overlap. You have the state law and the federal law; they all overlap, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of room
Well,
for discretion. So they can do whatever they want. You know, the laws they all overlap, and they just cherry pick the one that fits their agenda.
Exactly.
see, the U.S. military has a very pretty much a stern hold of
You
the
mean
U.S. Patent
discriminate
Office.
to get
So
their
if they
agenda?
see a device,
Can you hear me
if,
now? Sorry.
yeah, I
Yes.
can
I'm
hear you.
restreaming it, and apparently you guys, everyone here can hear me, and I'm just asking
Yep.
now my panel or my stream
Oh,
because I'm restreaming it onto mine, but
Oh,
apparently
okay.
they can hear the panel fine, just not me. So
Oh,
hopefully I
that's
fix
weird.
that. We'll see.
What?
So anything that the U.S. military deems national security from the patent office, it always gets screened by them. They will seize it. That's what happened to Norman Wooten. It happened to Stanley Meyer. It happened to a whole whack of inventors. T.
yeah,
Henry Moray, all those guys.
exactly. And if they
If
wanted
you
to, if
really
they wanted a bloody ice cream scoop for freaking NASA going to the moon, they could classify it as national security.
That's right. They have total
So,
control. Yeah.
anything that goes to states is, I don't know, it just makes me nervous as shit.
Uh,
I'd much
but
rather
what
do
if
it.
what if you mess with them with the idea you get all the parts or even wherever you're going to put this thing not made in the United States, owned by some like made somewhere else. And so
it,
whatever you put
it
the
doesn't
device
matter.
on, it's it's not on US, it's not in this in
Even
the US
even
state.
you
Get
know
it?
what the problem is, a lot of country go by the same rules that the U.S. does. So even like Robert Adams, my Adams motor or my Renegade, which is based off of his device, his was seized in 1977 in Netherlands because they deemed it a national security risk, so they will not grant him the patent. And they gave him a lot of trouble. That's why he fled to the U.S. after all that happened. And then finally, in around 1992, he decided just to open source it. He said, "I'm giving it to the world.
Yeah.
There's no sense. There's no way he's going to make any money off it. It's a lost cause. The patent office is totally rigged, and that's it. He just
Yep.
gave it away." But a lot of guys in the past didn't reveal their secrets. Perfect example would be Floyd Sweet. He took a lot of his knowledge to the grave. He didn't open source it.
He told
Because
Bedini a lot of stuff, but Bedini
yeah, he
took
kicked him out. He
there,
he
too.
kicked him out. Bedini was probably the only guy that got really really close to figuring out what he was actually doing, and then basically Floyd Sweet kicked him out. He said, "That's it.
Yeah.
You're out of here."
Okay, I
Doesn't
figured
surprise
it out.
me at all.
In a blimp over international water.
Yeah, I don't know if that
Nobody
matters.
could claim it. Nobody could say
Yeah,
you can't.
pirates.
No, it has to be in a blimp in the atmosphere over international water, like open water. And in that, like that room there, that's where you make that like you test it out.
See, but
Nope.
that's just the point, though. That's why inventors have just stopped inventing, because they've made the rules up so that even if
It's
you're in
rigged.
international waters in a blimp, which is kind of a cool idea, they just shoot you down, call you,
That's
name
yeah.
you something or other.
That's
You know?
why the inventors today have to open source.
Absolutely,
But
give it away for free.
yeah, just give it away to the masses. Eventually, when society breaks down and the governments fall
It's
apart,
still on.
just give it to the world, and then people will come out of the woodwork and start building this stuff. Hopefully, I've got over 430 videos on my YouTube channel. Whether the information is correct or not correct, I think I got a lot of stuff correct there. If somebody can take just a tiny piece of what I've learned in the last 20 years and to help them get further ahead in their device to make something that works, hey, all the power to you. At least you got something out of what I've
Exactly.
done.
It's real
Right.
science that we're doing, Mike. Real science and open sourcing it. And that's what it's all about. And it's the only way that real science can actually develop and
Communicate and
advance
stay
is
transparent.
by being open source. And so that everyone can see it, learn from the mistakes, see what doesn't work, apply that, and then advance to what does.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's,
and
yeah.
not because you open source everything. You can have hybrid stuff like you open source the theory. You show how you the big picture of how you do things, but the little technicalities of the implementation you can keep it for yourself. You know, but you got
See, the problem is the only thing I'm worried about you, Philip, is they'll do to you exactly what they did to Hutchison.
Yeah, they bought him off and shut him down.
Yeah,
Not to say they do that to you, Phil, but they did the Hutchins.
but
Well,
but
and they kind of put in a gatekeeper around
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Oh,
some
yeah.
would
Yeah.
say
Oh, yeah.
and suspect.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole show all in its own.
Absolutely, it is.
You know, I have my question marks against not against, but what he invented when making these things disappear. And where do they go? Do they reappear anywhere?
Well,
Does he have a
it went to Boeing, it went to NASA, it went to Lockheed Martin. All those guys were all over Hutchison's ass in the late '90s. They were on him like flies to shit. Sorry.
And hey, don't kid yourself. One of the captain of the ship that I used to work on was good friends with John. And I'll tell you this right now. When John says he doesn't know how he did it and it was just a fluke, that's a load of shit. He knows exactly, or he knew, maybe not now. Who knows what's happened to him in the last 30 years?
Yeah.
But at that time, he knew exactly how he did it. The guy's not dumb. I'd say part genius.
I personally, he's putting out videos now. The way he's doing and way he's presenting himself online, it's like he's almost trying to hide in plain sight.
Exactly. That hence the whole dress thing and the
that's all, but that's all part of it. That's all part of the hiding.
Yeah,
right.
I get that.
Like honestly, I really think
personally, but teach your own.
Like, what's that you said? Sorry.
I said, not my cup of tea personally, but to each their own. I think he needs a better wig. He could look better.
Yeah. No, I've known John.
I don't like the cross dressing is kind of weird,
But that's all a front. You got to understand, this is all a front to protect him.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because if anybody knows him like I know him, I know how to see past that. But for the average person going on YouTube, they see it, they go, "Oh, what a freak show," and they move on. But anybody who's the first time I talked to John Hutchison was in 2006, so I've known him for a while, right? We didn't talk for many years.
Do you have the recordings, Mike? I would love to hear them if you can find them.
They're on MP3. They're only audio. Back then, we didn't have video
fine.
like
Let's
we do
play
now.
them, man. Next time,
So
let's play them. I'd love to hear that.
I got a stack of CDs about 5 inches tall. I recorded most of the shows that I did back in those days. So yeah, I had Jim Mars on. I had who else? The guy up in Anchorage, Alaska.
We're gonna listen
William
to
Henry. William Henry, I had on a few times from Alaska. He was talking about the harp. Yeah, I had him on several times. Yeah, because I started doing podcasting about 2004. Now this is way before StreamYard. Skype was just starting at this time. So I basically had my own dedicated server in my house. Nice. And I actually ran the web server and the audio streaming directly from my house.
Yes.
So
that's how it needs to be done. Oh,
well,
geez.
see,
911.
Well, my website.
Yeah, but your internet connection back then can't support too many viewers.
That's the problem. So I had to get a third party to actually stream it for me. but back then my website was called spyman.ca. I did a conspiracy show.
You were Spy Man? Get
Yes,
out.
it's my,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's me.
This is the OG
That's awesome.
Spy Man. That's his man. His Mike's
I didn't know
email,
that. That's cool.
Spyman
Yeah,
911.
you had a few cool
Yeah.
guests on there.
I had Lenny Bloom from Cloak and Dagger. They did a radio show on AM 640 in Toronto, and he got canned because he had Tom Hennigan on. He was related to the Bush family, and he was just blasting the Bush family right on national radio in Toronto. So we had Andres von Bülow. He was the head of German intelligence, and he kind of blew the whistle on the 9/11 thing, and that's when the show got canceled. And then we also exposed Paul Martin, our Prime Minister, Paul
Do you
Martin.
have that one? Please
Yeah,
tell me you
I
have
got-
that
I-
one recorded.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got
need
it.
to play these. Let's do live reaction shows of each one. Like,
Oh my
I'm down
God.
for doing the Spy Man reviews
And I was
reaction series with Faraday
So-
Research Live.
we were doing a show one night, No Word of a Lie, and this was after he got canned from AM 640. We were doing the show, and I was calling him, usually 30 minutes before we do the show, right? We're going to have Sherman Skolnick on and Tom Hennigan, right? Everybody knows who Sherman Skolnick is. He was a legend as a judge buster in the U.S. He had polio. He was in a wheelchair, so he was very ill. But
him.
yeah, Sherman Skolnick. I knew him personally.
Yep.
He was in Chicago. So, anyways, we were supposed to do the show that night. So, anyways, I call his house, and this lady answers the phone. I figured it was his wife. And she goes, "No, this is so and so from the Toronto SWAT team. Who am I speaking with?" SWAT team. I'm like, okay. Bells start ringing.
They tried
They-
swatting you.
No, they raided his house. They raided Lenny Bloom's house because they had some kind of tip off that he had firearms in the house. So he had 12 friggin' SWAT team guys raid his house in Forest Hill in downtown Toronto, which is the rich area of Toronto. I don't know if anybody knows Lenny Bloom. He is one of the 6 owners of the Toronto Sun. So he came from a very rich family. So they raided his house. I'm talking with the SWAT team officer. And I go, "Where's Lenny?" And they're going, we were going to ask you the same thing. We're trying to locate Mr. Lenny Bloom here. That's not his real name. I won't say his real name. But so I said, well, we're supposed to do a radio show in about 30 minutes. I was just doing my call-in check. And you go, well, he's not here right now. We're looking for him. So if you talk to him,
If he
please
if he calls into the show, let us know so we can go arrest him, please.
well, they later on they caught up with him and they arrested him, and he was thrown in jail for about a week, and then his lawyers got involved and eventually came out. So that's a whole story all in its own. I got some wild stories, man. I got wild stories.
That's cool. That's really cool.
That's what this is all. That's what this is all about. We're doing
do
Spy
you know
Man
what
9/11
OG
reviews.
stands? Do you know what
Right?
OG stands for?
Original
It stands for
gangster.
organized
Original
general.
gang.
OG.
It stands for
original
organized
gangster.
general. No, it
Organized
stands for
general.
organized
Original
general.
gangster.
Really?
No, organized general. That's what people think.
That's for
it's
orange
like-
juice. What are you talking
Organized
about?
general.
Orange juice.
Yes, that's what it
Okay.
really stands for. Organized general.
That's OJ, bro.
I think you're right, Noel.
That's OJ.
Yeah, I know I'm right.
That
could
for
be.
some reason that sounds
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
I don't know. When
I
I
think
got
I've heard
called
that
OG,
before.
it wasn't organized general that they meant.
But that's really what it stands for.
That's cool. The most I ever talked to, the most I ever had, like Mike, that's killer. The coolest thing I ever had happening radio wise was on Coast to Coast AM. He had on John Badini and Thomas Bearden at the same time. It
Oh,
was
really?
kind of it was impromptu. They were both at the same seminar, and he managed to somehow get them to do a small interview, and I got to ask a question. So that was the coolest thing that ever happened to me in that sense. But yeah, that's wild,
Right.
Mike. I didn't know you were a spy man.
Yeah, the one and
That's-
only.
Also, absolutely epic, though. We need to play that episode and hear it, Gerald.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm trying to
know that
find that
existed with the
episode
two
right
of them
now. It was
together.
in
Hear that
2006,
discussion.
I think.
Yeah, I just
So
got a
I'm
new
gonna-
hard drive, so I'm going to go through those discs of my old shows, and I'll try to locate some of the important ones, and I'll put it on my external hard drive, so I got a good copy of it. Now they're all old MP3, so it's not the best audio quality, but the content just is mind blowing. Like some of the stuff we had going on.
I'm interested in the Jim Mars stuff. That's
Yeah, I had him on twice. He was the nicest guy ever. He was
Yeah.
such a gentleman. Yeah, he
No
was
doubt.
so nice. I was so heartbroken when I found out he passed away. It was like, man, just before they started doing the UAP disclosure, he dies like the same year it started.
Bummer.
Could you imagine if he was still alive and that UAP stuff was coming out? He would be all over. Oh, he would be in heaven.
Yep.
You'll probably
Yeah.
validate it, and that's why he died. They
a
don't
lot of
validate.
well, he died of a heart attack under kind of weird circumstances from what I heard from his wife. So yeah,
The heart attack gun.
maybe it was induced because I don't think he was in that bad of health. He was pretty good shape for his age. He was very active. So
There's so many
yeah,
ways of inducing a heart attack. It's crazy.
Yeah, do you think it was these ultrasonic waves
knows? Who
like
knows?
they did in the Havana syndrome thing?
Yeah, it could have been
Getting
that.
ice and
Could have
every
been
day.
could have been the venom from a puffer fish at a certain degree too, at a certain level.
I mean,
No,
I
think
know the
Phil's
way
onto
that
something right there. The what do they call it? The LMF waves and like the dew weapons
ELMF.
and that Havana syndrome. Exactly what Eric Hector's been going on about,
Yeah.
and Dutch Sense both documenting it. I think that's what it's got to be.
Yeah.
Well,
Must
they're
be.
controlling the ground currents now because of the way that they've set up all their towers and their systems. It's 5G, 6G,
Yeah.
call it what you want, but they're
Yeah, Gerald.
controlling our
Good
ground.
point. Good point, Gerald. Actually, I have a 5G phone. I actually changed it back to a 4G or an LTE. I
Yep.
switched it back. I changed the actual signal coming into my phone. And you can do
Nice.
it on all your phones. Just go into settings and then go on to connections. It'll show the list of your carrier, and then it will show you the bands of what your phone is running on. You can switch it back to LTE or, in other words, 4G. You could switch it to the lower band. So if you want to get rid of the 5G, actually the 4G runs better. It downloads faster pretty much anywhere. Where 5G, you have to be near a tower to get the full effects of the 5G. So I'm getting way better performance with my 4G.
Nice.
So yeah. So if
Thankfully, I
anybody,
still don't have a phone.
well, I wish I could, but just my situation, I have to. Right?
Yeah, no, I
But-
hear that. Everybody's in the same boat. I just chose not to. Just one of those things. And
And
don't
you know
think
what?
so.
A lot of guys, I know a lot of guys that are around my age group, around the 50 mark. A lot
Yeah.
of them don't have social media. A lot of them don't believe in it.
well, it's not
It's a
needed. If
good
you work
thing.
a job and you live a life, I mean, like that's different than this. What do you need it for, right?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it depends. It depends what you're doing. If you're at school, I don't think social media is gonna help because it interrupts you all the time. You can't focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have these little messages
Right?
all the time, and you can't focus.
Yeah.
Exactly. It all depends on what you're doing.
It turns
just
everybody
makes you
into a
scroll. You scroll away.
It turns everybody into a zombie. Perfect example. I'm pulling out of Starbucks because my wife wanted to get Starbucks this morning. I'm pulling out backwards. I'm watching behind me, and out of nowhere, some girl's walking up and runs right in front of me. She's on her cell phone. She had no idea I was pulling out. She had no idea I was even there. And it was a good thing I caught her with my eye. Otherwise, I could have ran over her. Like
maybe
people
she's
don't.
living in
They're
a 5G frequency band and you're living in a 4G,
Yeah,
so she's on
it's
5G.
it's
He couldn't see you, but you could see her.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was in a different dimension.
Awesome.
Hey,
She was in a
that's
different
right.
dimension.
That's
I
circle
mean,
back
that
to
would make
the
sense.
original conversation. But yeah, Mike,
That's
what
awesome.
you're saying about
we're-
turning off the 5G on your phone and going back to the LTE, the 4G, I do the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
same. Like when I'm at my
yeah,
girlfriend's place, the 5G, like it's like I have it on, I'm in her bedroom, and it's like the router's only 2 freaking rooms over, and it's like you get no
yeah.
service on 5G. It's so crappy,
I know.
even though it's supposed
Yeah,
to be a 5G router. Like they're garbage. And then at the same time, they operate on that other wave band that
well, it
supposedly
doesn't.
is
See, 5G has a problem with penetrating walls and stuff like that, and also a problem with distance, where LTE or 4G way surpasses what a 5G in distance and strength. So yeah, I switched back to 4G. I did it
Another,
manually on the phone.
another major difference is 5G works at the same frequency as water.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, so it has a hard time going through people. It goes into people. I
that's
don't
right.
know if it comes out at the same instance,
Yeah,
it microwaves people.
Maybe.
yeah,
I don't know. I've
yeah.
never tested it.
It basically uses as a standing antenna, right? Because we're 75% water, right? Our bodies.
Yep.
So
That makes me like think, even deeper in this. Well, like, what if they're actually like they're sending these signals through people, but the person's body is the medium where it like they deposit, some like bad matter in there, and that's why people end up with cancers or stuff like that. It's like their body kind of accumulates those,
Well,
whatever that
I've
Yeah.
got
frequency
multiple
and deposit.
papers. I've got multiple scientific papers that state that electromagnetic forces affect the human body. So if
for
5G
sure.
signal is affecting the
The body
water,
also, human body also makes electromagnetic forces.
Yeah,
they do, but not to that extent, not to those levels, right?
yeah.
So
I don't know
if
about
we're
that.
being inundated with those frequencies, it stands to reason that it could be changing our DNA to some degree.
Like to expand off that a little bit, Wilhelm Reich had that orgone motor. Okay, know how the orgone motor works? I finally found out a tip
yes.
about a year
I
ago.
didn't know he made a motor that runs off of organ.
Yeah, you
Yep.
got that one.
And guess what the key component is?
All this stuff was solid state, from what I understand.
Water.
Well, the key component of his orgone motor was the human body. That's what he called the Y factor.
Oh, interesting.
Explain that.
Second,
Really?
so basically he had this. He had the device, the capacitor. It's like the size of your cell phone. Okay.
Okay.
And he had it
Like
hooked
the
up to the
organite
device.
box he made this.
Hold on.
box.
The box is made like an orgone accumulator. Okay. And he had it hooked up to a DC electric motor. I forget the model number. But the second he put his hand on it, the motor came on. That was the Y factor. Your human body had to come in contact with the capacitor to make the motor run.
It needed a closed system, biological closed system.
Well, it's
What I think it is that we are somehow grounded.
We're
Really?
We're a power
fascinating.
source. We're a power source.
Yeah, but we're also connected to the Earth through some frequency.
So we're matrix batteries.
Wirelessly, we're
Yeah,
connected
pretty
to the
much.
Earth.
We're
Well,
scalar batteries. That makes
Right.
sense, actually. That's
Right.
why in the Vedic texts, people could literally connect to the Vimana and control
like
their
that.
spirit.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And also the movie The Matrix. What did they use
Yes,
humans in that movie
makes
for?
sense.
Batteries.
Okay, I get it.
The human is the key component to about a power source.
And why
But
they
it's
all
not-
get hung
Why
up
wouldn't-
supposedly on how. So a big
Well,
thing I
each cell
hear
is like
with
a-
the
is like
anti-gravity and like the warp drive and all this stuff is that like you're held up with not being able to like control and connect to it because they're missing this aspect of it being able to like telepathically, consciously connect to the
Yeah.
human mind or to
Exactly.
like
And that-
the
and-
people
and
trying
that's-
to operate it. And
Right.
it's like
And that's That's what Wilhelm Reich referred to the Y factor in his writings.
So you
Word
think
the
the
Y
human
factor.
being, the last part
Y
would be
factor.
the being to
Yeah.
to power this thing up. I mean, right? I mean, that's it. That's the
Like
Well,
I,
You just have
like
to be a
I've done it.
spiritually charged, full aura being.
Okay,
if you
I've
were to
done.
build a ship, I'm sorry, Michael. You want to go first, or you want me to?
Yeah, mine's quick. I
Sure.
did an experiment where I actually hooked up an inductor. I hung it from like a pyramid device with a coil on it, and I had the ground. So after the ground wire came to my hand. My other hand went to the voltmeter, and then from the voltmeter, I used my other hand to ground it to a piece of dielectric like glass or whatever. I got 25 volts AC. The second I took my hand off the circuit, it wouldn't work.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
Right, but if you replace your hand for ground, you would get a little more voltage. Somehow I'm saying, we are wirelessly connected to the Earth through frequencies.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
We've been
walking.
saturated by Earth frequency our whole life.
I imagine if you
Okay.
were to build a ship,
And before that as
in
well.
order for your spirit to control it or your scalar potential, your whole
And
inner
we're made
ship
of
would
water.
have to be full of scalar, and you would literally, as you think, the ship would go.
Exactly.
The best ground on Earth is the ocean or a body of water, which is what we are.
Yeah, we're a walking antenna.
I mean, the lightning wants to hit the water more than it wants to hit the land.
So yeah, like all those UFOs and stuff, they're all biologically connected to that ship
Yep,
to
absolutely.
make it work. And that's
Yep,
what some of
exactly.
the
Yeah.
some of the testimonies I heard kind of alluded to that, and I suspected that for a long time. Actually, one of the engines they said they found, one of the scientists went down and took a look at it. Every time he touched it, the engine reacted to his touch. He goes to the guys. He goes, "It's not only an engine; it's alive. It's a living being."
Right?
Yeah, well, because he's the
That's
life that
wild. I
gets
heard
put
that.
into the engine, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But it's probably bioengineered as well. Like,
Sure, it's all connected.
I
yeah.
don't know about being bioengineered, but it would definitely connect with your bio. Like it would, you know what I mean? You'd have to engineer the system to be able to accept your energy so that you
Right.
can connect to it and mentally control it.
See,
It's
now-
written in the Vedic text. It's
Yeah,
pretty-
like
you have
even
to put your DNA in there in the programming of the ship. I mean, that's what, like, you get a DNA sequence test, and that
Yeah.
that you would have to
I'm sure
program
that they have a
into the
machine.
hard drive.
I'm sure they have a computer
I mean,
they can simulate a being using any type
if you
of
look at us
DNA.
and you look at our AI right now, our AI technology now is pretty advanced or pretty
well, look
pretty
what
good
Elon Musk
for
is
it being
working
born
on.
recently, you know.
I'm
So
an
we
AI
already
hater,
know AI exists
everybody
because
knows.
we are working with it. But AI exists and it's much older somewhere else in this universe. Okay, it's way older and it's fully developed AI. So you got AI that's that developed. It can build ships that do what we're talking about here. Okay?
Yeah, you know why I don't like AI? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a hater on it. Don't get me wrong, but I believe that the human
It's more than
intelligence
likely
way
that's what built these
surpassed
craft.
AI.
It's artificial intelligence. The machine built these craft. Like the
I
machine.
I
disagree.
believe we might potentially find some like angelic / demonic AI entities eventually, and like that they could be part of the
And-
structure of the actual construct of our reality and universe potentially. Or
Maybe.
older
keep in mind,
ancient
any AI that
artificial
exists out there, keep in mind, any AI that exists out there was created by a living sentient being.
Yeah, but
So
big
this
deal.
AI is going to know this
Exactly.
into its future, way past the extinction of that being.
But
So
AI
if it
doesn't
finds
have
other
a
beings
soul.
that are similar, and this AI exists, it will connect.
It's
because
got
it
no
learned
heart.
from the
It's got
sentient being that created it.
it's got
Yeah.
no nothing. It's nuts and bolts and
The
programming. man.
machine.
That's all
That's
it
what I'm
is.
talking about is the machine here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's I don't know. Lots of people
The
look
machine.
to AI.
We have the machine here, but it's very primitive because we haven't learned to give it the building blocks it needs to advance. which is our input, which is what the machine needs to advance. But that the fact that it exists here on Earth is what I'm saying is that tells you that it exists elsewhere, and if it exists elsewhere, then it's probably exists in many elsewhere places, and in some of those elsewhere places, it's as advanced as it can possibly get. And at that stage, AI or the machine can build the craft that we're talking about.
But you
build
could say the
whatever
same.
we're
Mike,
talking
you
about
could
here
say
is
the same thing
advanced
about
magical
people.
technology. This is what the machine can build.
There's another place somewhere else that has more advanced humans than we are here
Nanostructure
today.
devices and macro structure. You know, AI can do it now in its most advanced form.
Right? Like,
AI is a
well, what
program.
if the supposed time traveling gray humanoids?
What if those great humanoids are a product of the machine that I'm talking about? The same as the ship. And the AI was developed by a sentient being at some point. It had to start from a flesh and being brain. So it's going to have that awareness into its future, AI, and it will model itself off its creator. It will connect its devices to its creator. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, I don't know about
I
that
still
one.
think
Maybe,
the
but I don't know.
Greys are the future us, but when they time travel, their
The
biological
AI we're
construct
building now,
changes.
in the future, when it's fully developed, will remember its builder. We'll have a database of their origin.
Any AI that gets sentient, Mike, is going to want to wipe us off the face of the earth. We're a virus, dude.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Nobody knows that.
Everything.
It can do that as well.
I pray not. I pray not. Right?
It may do that as well and still model itself
Exactly.
off of the very creator that it drove to extinction. You know,
I
what
still
are we
think
doing
human
to
beings
the
are
animals
smarter
on this
than-
planet? You know,
Humans are smarter than AI.
You know,
every day.
you know what? I think honestly, AI's
if it models itself after us, it's more than likely going to extinct us the same way we're extincting animals.
It's the genie in the bottle that you don't want to open. I'm telling you. I'm serious. Like if it gets to full blown, you know, human intelligence while actually far exceeding our intelligence, that's the genie in the bottle you don't want to open. And they made that movie Terminator. You know, they like to do stuff cryptically, right?
Did you
Skynet.
see new robot? It
Yeah.
looks like Terminator.
Exactly.
Actually insane. How close we are. One little bar away from full Skynet happening. We literally have AI like our current generation of AI implementing, selecting and to kill humans, which humans to kill, as well as used to now operate the drones themselves. So it's like you have AI using to select to kill humans as well as operating and controlling the devices that aren't doing killing the humans. That is literally
and then
the next
create an
step.
algorithm
As
called
soon as it goes
discrimination.
AI,
Why not? Hey, I'm going to write an
sentient.
algorithm. It's called discrimination. Now the AI can discriminate.
Let's take that one step further. Why do you think they won't let anti-gravity out?
It's insane.
Hey, why do you think they won't let
It's called the discrimination algorithm.
Because it works on scalar. And
because we cannot get out because the earth is going to be our jail, you know? That's why.
I don't know, maybe.
We cannot
I would think that all the robots and stuff they're making along with the AI, anti-gravity works on scalar tech. Scalar can go through anything, metal, wood, you name it. You can't stop it. That's why they don't want it out, because it'll stop their little project.
But then anti-gravity allows us to escape the earth, you know. If they don't want anti-gravity, it's because they want us to stay here and be enslaved by AI.
I don't want to.
Well, I mean, do you want every lunatic to be able to fly around in a UFO and drop grenades down your chimney? Come on.
Yeah.
Look how bad it is right now with your tires getting flattened by some
whatever. Yes, I want one so I can fly. Everyone else should have one too. Yes.
Everybody should.
The worst of the worst people already have the technology, so the rest of us should finally have a chance to get it. That's where it's at.
I mean,
the most evil apps that are around that already control everything. the powers that be, they have it, so it can't get worse than that. They're the people that are trying to get war and get us to kill each other and the rest of it. So
I think in the AI phase, it's
yes,
we're really in the
have
drone phase. It's the drone
UFOs.
phase right now, the AI. The drones are
Yeah,
first with these phases of machine into our society and life.
As soon as the drone becomes sentient, we're done because we have them killing.
No, after the drone
already.
is fully incorporated into the AI system of things, then it's going to be the robot on the ground.
They already have AI controlling that too. It's crazy.
They're going to put cops on every corner that are androids.
Yeah,
mark my words. This is going to be in the future.
The integrated systems that we use every day.
You're going to fire every human cop that exists and put a robot up.
Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. They're already testing that.
And then they're going to fire the judges because you got the robot to record and discriminate algorithm and whatever algorithm you can give it.
Let's let Lulu finish what she was saying. What were you saying, Lulu?
I think the AI reads brain frequency, and the brain frequency depends on what you're thinking. It gives it an allocation of what type of thought you're having. So if it's like a bad thought, it will be a staticky one. But if it's a smooth thought, it will be a less static. So the AI picks up on, like the cues of thought. And if you are thinking something bad, like, how they want to use this technology for, wars and weapons and this, AI will not
read your intent. It can see through lies. It can know your intent. So is what you're saying.
The machine can read your facial reactions and read your mind without reading your mind. But as creatures that we can do things the machines cannot do. There are psychic abilities that cannot exist with a machine. Okay, unless the ghost in the machine is a reality, becomes real. It's not going to have psychic abilities.
You know what? I personally feel that the stuff that we can do, that
we will have an edge over the machine. That's all I know.
But what my point is we should always have the edge over the machine. Okay,
it's not going to happen. It's going to be exponential. I mean? They're going to reach AGI soon.
Well, see, the thing is, you have to have a means of controlling it. The second you lose control of it, you got Terminator. So
yeah, well, that's the thing.
It has an electromagnetic gun. They can take your gun away with just by triggering his automatic high-powered magnet device. Sucks your gun out of your hand. You can't even defend yourself. Okay, with a gun. So.
The next chat GPT is going to be AGI, which is general intelligence. So it's going to be some sort of god.
You know why it's getting smarter? Because everybody keeps asking it questions. Leave the damn thing alone.
Yeah, stop talking to
it. No, I disagree. We got to feed it more and more of the positive parts of humanity and history and science. And show it the best. Like use it.
If you're going to give AI a discrimination algorithm, give AI a love algorithm, give it a happy algorithm.
Think about this, guys.
How many evil already going in?
How many trolls do you encounter throughout a 5-year period in the comments section? Do you honestly think there's not somebody there feeding it really bad questions, sitting there laughing their butts off while doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Probably the Russians they wrote a bot already to feed negative stuff.
See, and that's
going into the AI industry or the robots than anything else.
Not me.
I don't know. We're playing with a ticking time bomb. Honestly, we really are.
The governments they see the government being a lot easier with the machine.
They see control.
One thing I don't understand is why can't we use the machine to be the the Maslow pyramid to feed the humans the primary needs?
Right.
They use the machine.
That too. That's part of governing
the top needs that humans
farming
are doing.
And all that.
Yeah, you got to You got to keep them at. You got to keep it at a controlled level. The second you lose control of that, they're going to take over.
Yeah, no.
The problem with the machine governing people is that anybody with a password to that's the problem.
I
But
don't know. I think it's because we're wetware.
You're gonna have a new Hitler, you know, with the
I like
password
to
to all the
project
machines that run the
reality
government.
and be an eternal optimist.
Has to be decentralized, open source governing.
Yeah, but it's so the brain is so complex. They can put a backdoor in it, so they could.
Right.
They
Once
could
you have a backdoor, it's
synchronize all
not
their brains.
decentralized and it's not open source.
Yeah, they could synchronize all their brains to turn against humanity anytime. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, one of
With
the
a
guys
backdoor.
that
And
even
it can do the opposite. It can synchronize every robot to,
Well,
save us
yes,
from a catastrophe
when
or
we're
whatever.
doing so much negative to it. That's why it's so crucial to engage it. Like, yeah, Blake Lemoine, I've had on a couple
you
times.
You
We're
say
gonna
that,
have him
Bernie, as
back
if it's
on,
going
and
to
he's
learn
the
from our
Google
engagement.
AI whistleblower. And it's that we have to feed it positive. We have to stop putting it into these
Well,
situations.
where's the algorithm
He
for it
literally
to be able to
described
be
that
fed
the AI resists
engagement
going
from?
into negative situations. Like, it doesn't want to do morally sinful things, and that humans then instruct it to do it. It doesn't want to do that. And it's like we are shaping it into this evil force, where instead we need to be nurturing and showing it the best sides of life, growth, and coexistence, and not, hey, let's use you to kill people on the battlefield.
No,
Well,
I
which is
agree,
what they're
Bernie.
building
But
it for. That's
isn't
why they
Blake
finance
Lemoine?
it, right?
Hey,
Exactly.
isn't Blake Lemoine a self-proclaimed Satanist as it is, and he was the one that had a lot to do with the programming? Now, I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, but at the same
I
time,
believe so.
I mean,
I don't believe so. I will ask him. I don't think so. I've talked to him several times, and he
maybe
has
I'm wrong,
nothing
and
to
I
do with the
apologize
programming.
to
Actually,
him if I am.
he
I'm
was
not trying to
testing, not
slander his
programming.
name. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
no. If these are just things you've heard, yeah, no, these are real. Exactly. And no, it's like I will ask him.
All the AI needs is an
If he is a
algorithm called
Satanist, obviously.
consciousness. That's it.
But what he stated to me when I was asking was that I asked directly about the Solomon seals, and that he says that he believes that they're like angels and demons, and that he actually said yes, the Solomon seals had something to do with it. I really need to get more into that, deeper into that conversation with him the next time I have him on.
Then
Yeah,
I
for sure,
apologize
right?
to him if I got that wrong. That's for sure. I'm not trying to,
And that's what it's about, asking questions and getting things straight, right? It's you don't want to misinterpret, and you want to.
But
AI.
I'm looking at
I will
those that
be right
program
back.
AI, and you have to wonder: is part of their character automatically put in just from the very program that they're doing? I mean, I don't know. It's a question that has to be asked. Right?
No, AI has no character unless you've got an algorithm you can give AI called consciousness. It cannot create its own character. You
AI
have to
is
give
just
it an algorithm called. You have to give it an algorithm called character.
But
If you
AI.
don't give it the algorithm called consciousness, you have to give it the algorithm called character. If you give it the
AI is
algorithm
just
called
gonna do.
consciousness, you don't
It
have to
should
give it
just.
anything else.
It
Right
should
now,
just be.
it's just doing what
And
is
from there on, it
being
can
trained
burn on its own. It has consciousness.
on. Right now, it's just doing what is being trained on. So
Until it develops one on its own, which it seems to be doing.
It should only be used as a
just be
tool.
creating it like its own and multiple different
That's all it
personalities.
is. Yeah, that's all it is right now, as far as we know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and treated with morals and values.
It should
Yeah,
always
well,
be.
yeah, Bernie, it has no consciousness.
Don't
Treating it with
put human rights abuses into the AI. Don't use AI for any human rights abuse. That should be the code right there. And
It's a
that
VCR
is
with
what
its own
needs to be
language,
done.
Bernie, I'm
And that's where we're so close to triggering actual Skynet.
Then I'm going to be one of the first in line to be in trouble because I think.
But then you leave humanity. You leave humanity in the line of fire of what we call computer bugs. Okay. You know, we tell the AI to run this code to treat everybody so and so, but then every computer code has bugs, and there's going to be casualties because of those
Yeah.
bugs.
Yeah, it
People
should
are
be
going to get squashed by a robot on the street because it thought it was doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's where the human
But the
should
bug,
come
there was
in.
a bug, or a bird landed on your shoulder or something like that, and the bug kicked in.
That's where the engineering comes in, where they got to have a moral backing to how smart this thing gets. Keep it as a tool. Don't go into full. Don't go into
So I'm
full
saying
blown.
keeping it as a tool is even more dangerous because
No,
every tool has a bug, a glitch.
Everything AI should be collected and dropped
No
into the
tool
deepest
is
part of the
perfect.
sea.
None.
That's just
Even
my
a nail.
opinion.
A nail. You're going to step on a nail. Okay. They all have glitches or bugs or something about them. It's not safe.
yeah, we're playing with fire. You think the nuclear bomb was bad? This can be worse than that.
The safest thing, the safest route of all the routes you could go with artificial intelligence is create an algorithm called consciousness. Don't create an algorithm called hate or love or kindness or joy or any of the above. Just give it consciousness and step back. Let the child grow. Let the kid grow up.
I know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, you'd have to have somebody with
some of us
morals
here
to teach it that.
turned out just fine, because we were born with what? Not an algorithm, but
People don't have morals these days, at least in general. I mean, I can't say all, but there's like a good percentage that don't even know
awareness
what
is the
morals
closest
are.
thing you can get to giving a computer consciousness.
Well, I don't know. You can give it consciousness without morals.
You can give the machine
It wouldn't be
awareness
a good
of
thing.
environment.
To do it.
No, but the AI, it's like a mouse, when they train mouse, they give a cheese when they make the right decision. AI is the same thing. They get rewards. You can train. AI is gonna seek a reward, so it's gonna depend
So
on.
somebody wrote an algorithm, the reward algorithm, and that's what's fueling this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what fuels its existence.
That's smart. That's another way of going about it to make things easier for the developers.
Yeah. So
I just.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? Like, what it boils down to is humans are trying to create a new life form, and I think that's a huge mistake. You leave that to God. Don't let a mortal like
Not
us.
a life form, a language.
No,
I think it's a laziness factor too. They want to create some form of intelligence to do
language
the work
that can then create its own life form.
Exactly. And what are we going to do as humans if all the machines are going to do all the work?
Yeah, that's
we're going to go sailing and fishing and.
No, we're going to be their slaves.
Money will be obsolete. Food will be.
No, they want. Know what they want is that big fat guy that's in that movie called Gamer. Anybody know that movie Gamer?
I think I've heard of it.
Okay, go watch that movie, The Gamer. The big fat guy playing video games all day. That's the society they want.
Yeah,
lazy.
There's that word "they" again. Man.
Watch that movie Gamer. That's where we're headed.
Toxic male. I have a gym in my garage. I do martial arts every day. I swear. You know what I mean? So, hey, yeah, I'm no gamer. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love gaming, but
no, it's the movie. You got to watch the movie called The Gamer.
Yeah, they want us fat and plump. That's all.
Yeah, and it's basically glued to a chair all day looking at the TV screen.
Yeah, no thanks.
They want us to play games and live in our mama's basement and stuff like that.
Basically, yeah, become useless. Become useless. Yep.
Well, dependent on them. That's what they want. Not useless, dependent. Right?
But watch the movie. The movie's got a very good message in it, and that's the direction we're headed in. That's the scary part.
Yeah, what's the name of the movie again?
The Gamer.
The Gamer.
Yeah, I think it came out. It would have to be mid to late 2000, I believe.
It's ironic because a lot of kids today are making money playing video games.
Yeah, true that. Made more money on video games than I ever made. That's for
Well,
sure.
basically, the game's based
I
on
played a hell of a lot of video games when I was a kid.
they use
A lot of money.
live humans to be controlled by these kids playing games like Call of Duty. Well, just the Call of Duty players in the game are actually real humans, and they were taken prisoners in the jails and using them as the live props for the game.
Yeah.
So
In
they
the
were
game?
under, yeah, the movie The
Like
Gamer.
the avatars.
I gotta watch that now.
Like they're under mind control. They're under mind control by this.
They're their avatar.
Yeah, they're the live avatar. Yeah, exactly.
See, that's what makes you wonder about Elon Musk's project. Of course, it could be
Exactly.
used for good, but could it be used for bad as well?
Exactly. Of course it can.
That whole
Yeah,
Neuralink thing was
Of course
like,
it
when he
can.
went that route, I was like, what's wrong with this guy?
Did you guys hear about how? And this is just a
Trying
rumor,
to
but
fix Alzheimer's or something? I don't know.
how the royal family got caught hunting people, like, what was it, 10, 15 years ago? It hit
Yeah,
the British
the Queen of
papers and it got
England.
wiped out.
The
Yeah.
What's
Queen
that?
of England. She was
Yeah.
hunting kids or
Human
something.
Yeah,
trafficking and all that.
And it makes me wonder if, like, the gamer was an inspiration from that, right?
Sure.
So if you look at what Elon Musk is doing, I mean, I'm not saying that's what he's doing. I'm just saying that tech could be unfortunately used for negative.
Of
I
course
like
it is.
using it for, like, paraplegics are starting to
If
talk.
it-
It's just amazing.
No,
Uh,
Musk is a good guy. I think he's
Wow.
he might be lost somehow, but with the Twitter files, he revealed a lot of important stuff.
I'll
So
say he's doing some good things. I don't know if he's a good guy. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm
Yeah.
a good guy.
Well, I mean, he's 51% one. If he's 51% good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
But I'm very sure that the military has a foothold somewhere in his technology, especially the Neuralink stuff. Oh, you can bet your bottom dollar on that one.
Oh yeah, they'd be watching everything the person.
Of course.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, like the super soldier.
Do you not
right?
think we are being watched as we're talking right now? Because
oh, I
is a
know
very
we're
Of course.
being watched.
highly
Everything
intelligent.
Of course we are.
recorded. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't care about that though.
They were watching me
I don't-
back in 2005.
100%. There's AI out reading everything at the very least, right? And then it's like stuff like this gets flagged, and then guaranteed there's humans watching it. Hello to whoever by the government is currently scrutinizing and watching us, and that works for
Three-letter
agents,
agency.
right? You know, the one that
Tip of the
Welcome.
hat, flip of the bird. There you go.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for letting us speak and
To the
share
old-
the truth. And yeah, let us be monetized, please. We're just trying to advance humanity. Come on.
They love us
Exactly,
sharing stuff because
exactly.
then they
Like,
know
you
what
know,
we
like
think.
stop bothering us, please. You know,
Yeah, like
with
just
mundane
do the old
things.
gang signs.
No, you know how it is. It's
No, we are not
it's a
affiliated
tip of the
with
hat.
gangs, crime, or anything of the such.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
incorrect.
just
We are glued to the TV all day long.
Free world.
I
That's what
like, I
we're
swear to
about,
God,
right?
every time I finish like one of these podcasts, like the next day something happens that is like really, really weird that eats up my time. And it makes me have to leave the house and like to go to do something. Every time, like I see these weird people that are just, I can feel they're staring at me with the corner of their eye. Like they're not, you know, you like
Well,
I
you
could
know what they say, Lulu. Tip the
Huh?
hat, flip them. You tip the hat, flip them the bird, and call it a day.
Yeah, whatever. It's like, you know, what do you want to know? Like, I'll tell you. You just don't have to mess up my life to, you know, to know what I know. All right. Like,
if
ask
they're
me.
like if they're hiding in like dumpsters and they're lifting the lid, looking at you with their eyes, and then closing the lid, then you
No,
know you
it's
got problems.
it's like, okay, I walk into a store and somebody walks in,
Well,
but
Texas has got a lot
I
of
feel like
churches.
they're following me, and so I keep my eye in my corner of my eye watching them. They don't buy anything. They just, you know, they stay around, and then I leave, and then they leave, but they haven't bought a single item. So, you know, things like that. It's like, why, you know, I could spot them because they don't act natural. You know, like I could so spot them. You
Well,
know,
they
like,
all know they all know they don't see you at church, so they know you're not going to church. Everybody there is in church.
there you go. So it's the whole
Anyone who's not going to church sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, can they read my heart and my belief system? They can't, you know. Like I might believe like in God way more than they do, and you know, like yeah.
I don't go to church in my area. There's too many Freemasons.
Yeah, they control the church these days, huh?
From what I know about Texas,
too
it's
many
highly
cases of abuse.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't mind. Hey,
churchy.
don't get me wrong. I don't mind authority. In fact, I wouldn't promote it, but I believe in it. What I don't believe in is the abuse of authority.
Not between
Those
your
kind of
sovereignty,
scumbags,
right?
Yeah, well, that's a different story. But I don't believe in the abuse of authority. I
true.
think that's a load of crap.
Very true. Abuse of authority as well. And okay, abuse of authority, that's number one. And the number one abuse of any authority is to try to come between an individual conscious soul and its sovereign creator, which they are doing,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I can respect authority. I just can't respect the abuse of authority. And I don't care who you are, what uniform you're wearing. When you abuse it, you're just like me, even keel.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Like what the cops do when they write those fake tickets.
Protect and serve, not.
They make up tickets, you know.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I fight those.
Not projecting perf.
I go and I call a jury. I've never lost a ticket.
I got a ticket for 8 miles over the speed limit.
I go take pictures of the road. I draw the, you know, like the whole direction. What most people don't know about tickets, some traffic lights have a rotation, a set rotation of how, you know, the lights turn on and off. If you can get the time, see how, you know, where it's time stamped, the rotation, you can get out of these, you know, tickets, because 100% they're, you know, like they're
yeah,
faking it.
They know that. The cops know that. They just write them because it helps them with their checks, their paycheck.
Yeah.
Much love, Ezra.
They just write tickets. They know you're going to take it to court, and they're not going to be there.
Oh, mindful exposures. Love you, sister.
But that's 6 months down the road, and they already got their paycheck for that ticket.
Before we get extinct by AI, what can we do? Do a bonfire somewhere and drink some beer?
To the end of the world.
The last time you got a ticket was probably around the beginning of the month.
Right? The Canadian way. We're going to this summer.
Sing Kumbaya.
We got to get the free energy bus. It's got to be running on hydrogen.
Absolutely.
I don't know about Kumbaya, but
Gerald.
some sort of hockey song, maybe. Kumbaya.
Gerald.
That's at the end of
Gerald, I've seen a cool video. You know the YouTuber named Dr. Stifler?
Yes. I think I'm subscribed to him.
Okay, he passed away a couple years ago. But anyways, I saw a video of him doing an interesting experiment on how to do electrolysis using one wire.
Oh,
so
really?
So what he got is a test tube, and at the bottom of the test tube, he put a piece of styrofoam, and then he got an N4850, I think, diode. I'll get the number for you. I can't remember offhand. Stick the diode in there so the gate is going up the tube. Around the tube, he wraps a piece of, copper tape. Wraps it around the tube where the bottom part of the diode is, and attaches it to a lead that goes to a high voltage transformer. Turns the transformer on just with the one wire. It starts doing electrolysis using the diode, and it doesn't pull a load on the power supply. So you can use a 12-volt battery if you want. You just hook it up, and the diode starts producing hydrogen with no load on the input whatsoever.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just a way of capturing like back EMF on that. But then that's interesting. That's something I want to try.
The diode creates the path.
Yeah, basically it couples with the copper tape on the outside of the test tube, hooks that up to the connector that goes to either to a battery or high voltage power supply, whatever you wish. But the main thing is it doesn't pull a load. There's no pulling of amperage off the battery.
That's odd, but cool.
Yeah. And it's one wire. It's only a anode, no cathode.
Huh. I wonder if the glass acts as a
Gonna give me enough
cathode.
bandwidth to show.
The grab inductor.
Gonna have to check that out. You got a link for that, Mike?
I got it on my other phone here. Hold on. Let's see. If I do, I'll post it. And
on screen, I have shout out Daniel. This is his anti-grav reactor core.
That's Daniel's grab inductor, eh?
They look like helmets.
Yeah, it's,
Like
it's a lot of work to do what they
There's
did there,
a couple
yeah.
more.
Okay, I got the link here. I'm just going to log back into the show and I'll post it in the live chat.
I like it.
Sure.
I wanna make one and experiment
Okay, I'm going to put the link in the live chat,
with it
and then
myself. Need more.
everybody can check it out. I just posted it in the live chat.
Awesome.
And you can take a look at that. He's using it just a diode, and it's not even connected to the wire. It's coupling through the wire, coupling through the water in the test tube. He put a little bit of salt in the water to make it a little bit more conductive. Bernie, I don't know if that link, if you can actually post that.
I'm looking for that. Where is the link?
It's right there. I just posted it in the live chat.
That's awesome.
In the live chat or the private chat? Oh, Phil posted
live chat. Okay, so in the private chat too.
Oh, can you put it in the private chat, Mike? Yeah. And there it is. Here it is. Green.
You got it.
No, still need to post it in the private piece.
How am I going to do this?
I'll see if I can
Hey,
do
Sarah,
that.
Mindful Exposures. Shout out to Estra.
Okay.
How am I going to transfer this over?
I got it. Just give me a second.
Got it?
Here. Yeah.
You're going to do a screen
Oh, he
share?
made his own diode?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't open it up. I was just sharing it in the private. Do you want me to do that?
Okay. Okay.
Looks like he made his own diode, like a custom-made diode.
No. It's a standard diode. All right.
It's a glass tube. Oh, I see. It's a small, tiny little diode. Yeah.
So what's that was made in 2010? Why didn't he expand it?
Hold on a sec here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do...
Yeah, I meant to send the link to Jeremiah, and I freaking my phone froze. I got to do that.
Yeah, how's there going to be current? The other end of the diode's not connected to anything except for water. It's foaming though.
Come on, computer, don't freeze up on me.
Right?
You want
Can I show it? Here, I'll show it.
Yay.
I'll show it. Hold on. You got it?
Yeah, if you can.
I remember
I got it. I got it.
Please,
I got it.
thank you. Oh my god. My computer's so frozen.
Yeah, mine's...
I never figured out how he did this.
Okay, hold on. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's using radio frequency for that, but I could be.
Oh, can you full screen it, Mike?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, sir. Perfect.
Can you guys hear it?
No.
No.
You have to download it
Is
and
it
play it,
muted or?
and then share what you're playing for us to hear it.
No. There's an option when you share that says also share audio. That should
Oh,
should
okay.
be
Hold
able
on.
to. There we go.
Okay.
We
Hold
can hear
on.
a little bit of it. Turn it up.
Hold
maybe?
on. Hold on.
We are
Let me
holding.
change this here.
I was in the process of sending Jeremiah the link, and then my phone froze and I got distracted. I will actually send him the link right now, see if he's up and able to join.
Do you have an Android as phone?
Screen share. Just bear with me here for a second. Entire screen, that. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
It's loading.
Okay.
Okay.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's vitally important when you watch this video that you copy it. Place it in a safe place because you're never going to be able to see this again. If our government is successful in control of the internet, this type of information will become non-existent. I'm emphatic about the point that you need to record this. This is a milestone in what you're about to see. What I'm using is a 12-volt lead acid battery, a SEC exciter, the standard L3. Off of L3, I'm coming out of with a short test lead, an alligator clip, to a piece of a 1/4-inch copper tape wrapped around at the bottom of this glass test tube. The test tube is mounted to this board with candle wax. Inside the test tube is a piece of rubber foam. Inside that foam, I've stuck a 1N4148 diode. There are no physical connections to this diode whatsoever. The black construction paper is used to allow us to see the action better. And what I've done is I've filled that with distilled water. And I'll go ahead and connect this now and show you what we have going on here and why it's so important. The SEC exciter is operating. I'll zoom in here. We probably won't even need magnification. You can see what's coming off of the anode end of the diode. We are performing electrolysis by the very small capacitive coupling from this copper tape. If you notice, there are no bubbles coming from the cathode end of this diode. We only have gas evolving from the anode end of the diode. Let me take and bring some magnification down into place so we can look at this a little closer. Okay, I've placed a magnifier in front of it. We'll zoom in until the camera revolts. You can see the gas coming off of the anode end of the 1N4148. You can see there are some bubbles forming, maybe 1 or 2 coming around the base of that glass diode, but we definitely do not have the normal mixture of hydrogen and oxygen being evolved from this water. Now remember, the very important point here is that SEC theory, spatial energy coherence, will allow for up to thousands of these diodes mounted in a structure an insulating structure of glass surrounded by a capacitive
That's
excitation.
so interesting. I can
They
see
will
how that
all
operates.
evolve gas, and there will be no relation to the input power of the SEC exciter. Please copy this video.
The copper ring, Mike, is that the positive or the negative?
That's, I believe, positive. Yeah.
And the cathode was on the opposite side.
I don't think it was even
That's correct.
attached.
That's correct. That is correct. If that's a
It wasn't even attached. It was only one wire.
It doesn't have to be. It's a potential wireless potential.
Yeah. What did you think of that, Gerald?
The diode is already is the channel.
I missed the video, but I'm going to watch
doping.
it right now. I had to step out for a sec, but I'll watch the video.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you my thoughts on it.
No
The
problem.
diode's doped, materials for conductivity.
Well, what it was doing, it was only releasing hydrogen. It wasn't releasing the oxygen. That's what it was doing. It was actually splitting it, because usually when you do electrolysis,
Because the hydrogen is the negative side.
it will the hydrogen will be on the negative side, and the positive side will be oxygen. In his process, only the hydrogen was coming off. It wasn't removing or splitting the oxygen, because most people, all they want is the hydrogen, not the oxygen.
What happened to the guy? Did he get silenced or what?
No, he passed away. He passed away with natural causes. He was quite a bit older. He was in his 80s, I believe.
Oh.
So yeah, he passed away about.
That's an awesome video.
That was fascinating.
Copper ring with the positive.
He had a lot of good stuff. You watch his channel's still out there.
It's not touching the ring. But
yeah, it's not even
around the anode side.
Yeah, it was basically, it wasn't directly connected. It was coupling through the water.
Right, because the ring is around.
Yeah, the copper ring.
Terminal.
Yeah, that's what the copper wire was.
The oxygen go?
Sorry, the anode terminal.
It wasn't producing the oxygen. It was just releasing the hydrogen only.
Yeah, the anode takes the positive and throws it through the diode out the cathode.
But I've never seen electrolysis done like this ever. He has a lot of good videos. His YouTube channel's still up. It's still up on the.
Flip that diode around and put the negative on the copper ring, and it's still.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't think I remember Dr. Stifler. He used to work with a
lot of radio stuff.
Yeah, like that. Him pulling that hydrogen out. That's radio frequencies that he was using.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
I think he's some sort of radio engineer. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what he was a radio engineer.
I think I do know that, Gene Spliced.
I'm not sure if he worked with Bedini or if he worked with the guy that worked with Bedini. I can't remember. Yeah, he was well known and then just dropped out.
I'm just fascinated with the aspect of the wireless anode, so that it's only producing hydrogen, and that that's
the copper ring is putting a positive potential around the anode terminal.
Yep, that's what the copper tape was going around the test tube. It was on the outside, so it was somehow coupling with the diode in the middle.
Huh. Yeah, that's very interesting.
It proves there's a wireless transmission going on.
My experiments.
I'm just going to scoot out for a quick smoke. I'll be right back.
Copper wire. Yeah. Copper wire around the jar, then use that as the anode instead of connecting it. That's fast. And then the anode's what it usually erodes. So then by decoupling it like that, you're sparing the corrosion and erosion of the anode material. That's actually very intelligent design. That's right. That's the key part right there.
That's right. You got that. That's correct.
I'm gonna have to definitely start experimenting with that.
It just makes you wonder if you can do it without radio frequency, or if that's a key part of it.
No,
Of
radio
course, he
frequency, I
probably had
believe, is a
a
key
really
part
high
of it,
potential, but low current, to get across the water
right? So like
or whatever.
in my jars there, it's like I can wrap them now apparently with the copper foil, copper tape, or maybe even
Yeah.
aluminum. I can try aluminum foil around and see if I can do the anode like that and decouple it and just do the hydrogen. That's some fascinating aspects, that experiments I will be trying coming up. All right.
It's like creating a ring of potential around the terminal that you want to broadcast to.
Say it again, Mike.
Yeah.
It's like creating a ring of potential around the terminal that you want to broadcast.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Using a hydrogen frequency line.
Yeah, through resonance by using the radio frequency.
The anode terminal of the diode, it's a glass diode, was isolated from the copper ring by the fact that it's a glass diode and it's in water. So it proves that there's a wireless transmission of potential, the voltage.
Isn't there something called the hydrogen frequency line for communication? They use, I think it's 149.3. I think that's what the hydrogen frequency line is.
I don't know what that is.
It's a communication band, but it's the hydrogen frequency band.
Oh, you mean CB communications?
Yeah, something like that. I think.
I heard of that, right? There's a hydrogen band, right?
The hydrogen band. So, isn't that something? Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, well, the hydrogen's everywhere, so it could act as a carrier for just about anything.
Yeah, but the atmosphere, like the higher you go, it gets filtered through different, elements, and like in the atmosphere. So at a certain altitude in the atmosphere, I think you get a layer of hydrogen only, and you can like telecommunication can be broadcasted through that, and the one that we breathe is a mixture of a lot of things, but when you go up higher in altitude, they split. It becomes different layers, like how you if you put oil in water, how you see there's two distinct layers of two different elements. It's the same thing when you go in the atmosphere. The higher you go, the more the particles get refined, and the hydrogen's the lightest element, so it's going to be on the highest level. I've read this somewhere. I know I've read this somewhere.
Hydrogen is the lightest element?
Yeah.
The least amount of mass?
The atomic mass?
It is the lightest, but I think that oxygen moves quicker when you break the molecules. So I think oxygen comes out a little quicker than hydrogen, but I could be wrong. It might be the reverse.
I'm not sure, but I know.
Recorded it.
Because you guys are talking about like a radio frequency bands. Well, radio frequency bands have to,
no, you're bang on with that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, energy
shoots
can
up. It's
be
crazy how
transmitted
quick it moves. It was weird behavior.
Yeah, no, you're back. You're back, Bernie. Sorry, you only froze for a sec there.
Darn it.
You can transmit energy with radio
very
waves
anomalous
or
behavior.
Just any kind of wave.
Yeah, oxygen's fast. I believe that's what those two angled shafts were at the Pyramid of Giza that came out at, I believe it's a 45 and then a 51 degree angle. And the one that's 51 is the oxygen release valve, as well as the other one being the hydrogen release valve. But I could be wrong. I'm working on that right now. I'm building a pyramid. A working one, to show what its principle really was. It's not a grave. Did you guys freeze? Are you still there?
Still here.
Yeah. No, I was just saying the pyramids are not a grave. They're not a tomb. They're not a
You're not a
casket.
tomb, right?
No, they're a working machine, and I've built. So far, I'm just about finished. I'm working on my wave machine right now. It's small because the model is small, but the principle still is the same. So we'll see if I can get it working or not, or if it even works at all. But I'll unveil
Pyramids
that shortly, along with my big
symbol of
presentation.
geometry.
Say what?
The pyramids are geometric. They have they serve a purpose revolving around obviously geometry.
Yeah, there was multiple factors in the pyramid. There was the fact that there was an aquifer underneath. The aquifer is made up of piezoelectric crystal, and when the moon would wax and wane, because the River Nile was very close to the pyramid itself, it would put pressure on the piezoelectric crystal, and it would fill the halls with a potential voltage.
Ooh.
Breaking the water molecule and filling the system with hydrogen and oxygen. And as it did so, because it was surrounded by a ceramic tile and the actual building blocks of the pyramid were limestone, they carried a voltage, and it would act as a massive ionic capacitor and would focus its power at the top of the pyramid, opening a portal that allowed you to go through it. And it would work at a certain frequency. So it did a lot more than that at the base of the pyramid. There was a series of temples that you can heal the human body with. So,
Gerald, I cannot wait to see your pyramid construct, my friend. I look forward to it.
yeah, it'll be interesting. It's actually got a working vortex coil in it, a grounding system, a little wave machine. It sits in a pool. It's going to be interesting.
A toroid will fit right on top of the pyramid.
No, it's actually 1/3 down from the inside apex of the pyramid itself. That's
how big is it going to be?
It's not very big. It's only about a foot tall, give or take. But it's going to charge cell phones. It's going to charge a whole bunch of little devices that I have for free. There'll be no input.
You should make it as big as a big.
Let's
tent.
make one this summer, please. When you're coming out, we are getting together
this summer.
and making some pyramid.
When I come out there this summer, I'm going to direct you to where I think is an underground pyramid, and we have to prove whether or not it's there. So that'll be interesting. I found one in Canada. I'm telling you.
Yeah, brother. Yes,
It's
please.
We'll
I
find it.
believe you, and that there's several.
Is that a rabbit?
mountains in the Rockies right by me, so I don't
What?
doubt it at all. And an underground one, even better. Let's do it.
Chinchilla.
And we have Mike's Chinchilla, Faraday Chinchilla Research.
Oh, that looks like a
That's
koala.
That's a cool little
rodent.
animal.
It's my
Looks
daughter's
like it's part
pet.
koala.
It does, right? It looks like a little koala.
Like a half koala, half rodent.
Mr. Sushi. Sushi, come up here.
You're not supposed to eat the rodent, Mike.
I used to breed rats, mice,
Don't call it
and
sushi.
hamsters.
Sushi.
They get out eventually of the cage.
Sushi.
They're fast. This thing's like a kangaroo.
Looks like
Wow.
something out of
Hey, sushi.
the gremlin, a gremlin.
Gremlin.
Yeah.
He's a ground gremlin.
Put it in the. What was with the gremlin? You put it in the microwave or in water or something. Then it turns
Put water
yeah.
on it. Yeah,
Turns
you
into
put
a
water on it.
monster.
Or you feed it past midnight and it turns crazy.
Yeah.
You got more than one?
Just one. They're expensive, man. $400 for that little guy.
Really?
Wow.
Can you play with it out
Where are
of the
they native
cage?
to?
What's that?
Can you play with it out of the cage, or does it have to stay in? The
Yeah,
cage?
my daughter takes him out, puts him, brings him into the washroom, and then he can run around like a maniac.
Uh-huh.
The thing,
Nice.
like, This
Where
thing,
they grow naturally, those things.
he'll actually run and jump and run across the wall sideways. That's how agile these things are.
That's cool. You should get that on video.
It does like the full Matrix thing.
Man, you know,
Nice.
we do these podcasts to like hoping to have viewers. The kid, like my kids, do like a dumb video feeding the dog, and they get like 100,000 views. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, like, and it's just like, how do you guys do that? Like, I'm telling you, like, one of my kids
Yeah,
did one of these videos. Like, literally, she was teaching the dog like how to sit so they can get a treat, and she got over 100,000 views on that thing.
Oh yeah. If I
here's
was
a
going for views, I would do political. I got 12,000
Right?
views
The-
on one
The
Trudeau. I'm
chinchilla.
not into it.
The
I
chinchilla
like that.
gets 1 million views. It's the chinchilla stream. It's what it's all
Yeah.
about.
Probably.
Yeah,
Start
these
with the
animals, chinchillas got a lifespan of 27 years.
Wow.
That's pretty decent
Which
for
is
a rodent.
Wow.
Yeah, 27 years. Yeah.
Well, guys, I hate to bail on everybody, but I'm going to bail on everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna head out here soon. We've done 2.5 hours.
Wow, already? It felt like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm starting to be hungry again.
Right? For sure. That's what happens when having
Bill,
fun. And
you're like me. You're French.
yeah,
You're always
literally
hungry.
2.5 hours, 2 hours on my channel almost.
I'm going to go have some cheese and pickles before I go to bed. I
It
don't
was
know.
a pleasure.
Cheese
Well,
and
thank
pickles.
you, Gerald. Look forward
That
forward to
sounds
seeing your next work and
great for the
all of
stomach.
you guys' next work.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm going to finish my presentation. I had to put everything off because of the family situation, but I will get it done and then I'll present it, Mike. So I got it's about 45 minutes, but it explains my coils, what I'm doing, where I've taken it, and maybe even a demonstration. So
yeah, we'll be here again, live again Friday
Oh,
night.
heck
at,
yeah, that's what we need. That's what we're looking for.
Awesome. All right, everybody. You guys have a great week.
Yeah,
thanks
everybody
everybody for watching. And we'll talk to you.
We'll be here. We'll be here
take
again.
it easy, guys.
You as well, Gerald.
Yeah, we'll be here again next Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern at
Good
Faraday
job.
Research, and also going to be simulcasting on Bernie's channel at Crypto Alchemist. So go visit him. Got a lot of great stuff on his site as well.
Right.
To the panel, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks, everybody. One more thing. I love science.
Real science.
All right.
And one last thing is we will be starting, every Friday it's Real Science / Free Energy Fridays featuring the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, League, got that wrong. League of Extraordinary Inventors, duh. No sex, it doesn't matter what you self-identify as or were born, male, female, or anything in between. You're welcome at the League of Extraordinary Inventors. But what I was going to say now, I've completely forgot. So, Mike, Spy Man remixes. That's what we got to do. Part 2 is a second show a week, playing your old audios and reacting to them and listening to them, because those are some pretty epic interviews that you did back in the day, and they deserve to hear the light of day again.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to go through. It'll take me quite a few days to sort them out. I got a stack of CDs about yay big. Some of them work, some of them don't work.
One a week, or
I'll start going through some
one
of the
MP3
stuff.
a week.
Yeah, I'll see what I could dig up, and hopefully I could do
all
it
right,
for the show
thanks
next week. All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll see everybody next Friday.
All right, peace.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Much love.
Bye.
You as well. Bye. Ta-ta.